Wine Festival happening all weekend at the Royal Botanical Gardens. Come check it out and bring your appetite. That's it for now.
Of CBC Sports. The dynasty has ended. The reign of Colleen Jones as Canadian women's curling champion was halted at 4 this morning as Sandy Comeau of New Brunswick disposed of the queen of women's curling with a brilliant takeout on the ninth end of a tiebreaker. Ironically, it was this score of 4 that ended the consecutive streak of Team Canada. So the Scott Tournament of Hearts will crown a new champion, as 1998 winner Kathy King of Alberta was also eliminated in a tiebreaker by Hanna of Ontario. And that sets up this afternoon's tiebreaker. Hanna of Ontario against Sandy Comeau of New Brunswick for the right to play Stephanie Lawton of Saskatchewan in the Page playoff. Welcome to St. John's, Newfoundland, where it's Tiebreaker Friday at the Scott Tournament of Hearts at Mile One Stadium in St. John's. Losses last night set the stage for tiebreakers, and the two teams that advanced this morning, Ontario's Hanna and Sandy Comeau of New Brunswick. 4 teams with 6-5 records. Tiebreakers required for those teams to determine 2 that play off this afternoon for the right to move to the Page playoff game against Saskatchewan. This morning on the 9th end, the hopes of Colleen Jones of winning a 5th consecutive championship came to an end with this brilliant shot by Sandy Comeau. Jones with the shot rock at the back of the forefoot. Comeau through a very narrow port, removing the red Canadian rock to score 4 and win by a score of 9-4. 4 consecutive championships, 6 in her career. A very emotional moment for Colleen Jones. A very emotional moment for the other curlers and the spectators. A standing ovation provided Colleen Jones and Team Canada with their elimination at this year's Scott Tournament of Hearts. So it was New Brunswick over Team Canada 9-4. Ontario beat Alberta 5-3 to set up a second tiebreaker for the right to advance. The winner will face Stephanie Lawton of Saskatchewan in the Page 3-4 playoff game, the 1-2 game. Jennifer Jones of Manitoba and Kelly Scott of British Columbia. Those games take place this evening. But this afternoon, it's a tiebreaker for the right to advance against Saskatchewan. But we cannot continue without talking about Colleen Jones.
Well, this team has been so good for so long. They will leave a legacy in women's curling. They become role models for all women in sport with their attitude towards work ethic, towards sticking with it, working with a sports psychologist, peaking throughout their performance in a season. This team will be remembered by what they have given back to the sport, and we saw the players, how emotional they were. They stopped their games to applaud them. I think applause needs to come from across Canada for these 4 women.
Well, Mike, it's difficult enough to win 2 in a row to defend a championship, let alone win 4 in a row.
Well, I think that's why it is the big news. It's like Tiger Woods in golf. When he doesn't win or Colleen Jones doesn't win in curling, it's big story because they are the best. They've proven it time and time again. 5 of the last 6 Canadian championships, and it's hard to imagine a Scott final without them.
So Colleen Jones is eliminated. A new champion will be crowned here at the Scott Tournament of Hearts. Sandy Comeau of New Brunswick and Hanna of Ontario still have hopes of being on the victory podium on Sunday night.
The Scott Tournament of Hearts on CBC. Brought to you by Scott Paper Limited and its family of quality paper products.
They say football is a game of inches. I wish we had inches.
The Scott Tournament of Hearts, proud sponsor of women's curling for 24 years.
You already know these uses for your Karcher. Here's a few you might not have thought of. The hat rack. The shower. The centerpiece. The chandelier. You can always use a Karcher.
The world's best curlers are coming to Victoria. Now there are new ticket packages ranging from 2 days to 4 days and priced from just $75. Call toll-free or online at fordworldcurling.com.
This is where the world will rock, Victoria.
Hey, so what do you want to do for lunch?
Thinking soup.
Or sandwich?
Sandwich, that's good.
No. That's not enough. You boys must have proper lunch. Hearty soup and sandwich together. That's proper lunch, okay?
It's the complete lunch that satisfies.
So, soup and sandwich at Tim's?
Sounds good. Tim Hortons ham and Swiss sandwich on a toasted bun. And our new creamy field mushroom soup in a combo, just $6.49.
The Scott Tournament of Hearts on CBC. Brought to you by Tim Hortons, toasted ham and Swiss and soup combo. By the original Strauss Heart Drops, trust the tradition. And by Ford, built for life in Canada.
Sandy Comeau of New Brunswick will be remembered as the woman who officially put an end to the reign of Colleen Jones with her tiebreaker win this morning by a score of 9-4.
Well, it's she and her whole New Brunswick team, fairly solid team, but Sandy herself being able to come up with big shots when she needs it. Call her a giant killer. Very calmly, she'll go about her business and came up with a big win.
Well, she's going to have to come up big today against Jenn Hanna, who curled fantastically well again this morning in disposing of Kathy King from Alberta. And we've seen it in the last half of this round robin. Jenn Hanna has just elevated her game. And I think New Brunswick's going to have their hands full today if Jenn Hanna can keep it up.
Top four, girls.
In the round robin, Ontario defeated New Brunswick by a score of 8-3. You talked about the success this morning of Jenn Hanna and her Ontario team defeating Kathy King of Alberta. Kathy King had her best game of the competition, 95%, but it wasn't good enough.
I spoke with Kathy King after the game. She said, I have no regrets. I played 95%, missed one shot, and Jenn Hanna put it away for me.
Hanna started the competition with a victory over Colleen Jones. Perhaps something of an ominous signal there, because Colleen Jones got off to the 0-2 start in round-robin competition, fought her way back into contention, and then lost her final 2 round-robin games to wind up in the tiebreaker. Among leads, Sandy Prosser of New Brunswick tied for 10th during round-robin play.
I think it's certainly worth noting that Jenn Hanna is kind of the star of this team, and her opening day here at the Scott, as you mentioned, on a win over, she won a car in the morning, and then she comes out and beats Colleen Jones in the afternoon. And you know what? She's proven herself to be among the top players of this competition at any position, and she's faced some tough shots too. It's not that she's been curling 90% with wide open hits. It's been drawing through ports, and she's shown great touch, and I'm so impressed with also the strategy. She's so composed in the house.
Her sister Steph at Leadstone,
Sit down. Great throw.
ranked 4th among leads at 87%.
Oh, sorry. It's gonna be a last round.
One of the strengths of this New Brunswick team is their ability to stay in games. We saw them come from behind in many games, the last half of their games, very calmly going about their business of getting rocks in play, creating an opportunity for Sandy Comeau to perhaps make a big shot for a steal or an angle for a couple of big points, get back in games, and anything can happen at the end of a game with the 4-rock rule. They don't give up, and they throw that quiet weight very, very well.
Well, we dubbed Sandy Comeau the comeback queen of this year's Scott, because in a number of games she had to erase huge deficits to get back into contention. Not only did she get back on even terms, she went on to win. We'll tell you more about that later.
Whoa! Yep! Yes! Hurry! Yep, stay with it. Hi, girl. Shot. Nice shot, Don. Go wait. Go well. Straight up.
Mike made reference to Jenn Hanna winning the car in this year's Ford Hotshots. The 1998 Ford Hotshots winner was this woman, Allison Farrell of New Brunswick. This year, she finished in 3rd place, picked up $1,500 for her efforts.
Good. Throw, Al. Throw. Control.
Don Askin, #1 among seconds.
A little more. Pull up. Firm control. Clean. Yep.
After their opening game victory against Team Canada,
Hard, right up.
Ontario
Right up.
struggled through the next few games, mainly because Jenn Hanna herself was struggling at 71%. Hanna got back on target in a victory over British Columbia, and over the final 6 games, she curled 89%.
She seems very comfortable now with the ice conditions. It seemed after the opening draw, they struggled with figuring out how much curl there was in the ice and what the draw weight was. But now that it has been so consistent over the last couple of days, Ontario is just not looking back, able to make any shot left to them late in ends.
Statistically, at every position, Team Ontario has an advantage over New Brunswick.
We made much earlier in the week about New Brunswick being lucky that late in games they seem to be able to get the misses from their oppositions to open the door for them to come back.
Look at this performance. She even curled 91% in a loss to Kay Zink of Nova Scotia last night, and that was the reason she was in this tiebreaker this morning against Kathy King of Alberta, while Sandy Comeau of New Brunswick played Colleen Jones of Team Canada.
Hard, Don.
Yes, Nova Scotia played an exceptional game last night in that last round robin game. Kay Zink and Mary Matitol had their best games of the week.
Good job. Sorry about that. I'm taking my jacket off.
Well, when you've got both the skip and the third, Jenn Hanna and Pascal Latande, tied for first at their respective positions after a week of round-robin play, you should be in position to perhaps do something in the playoffs, or, in this case, tiebreakers.
Good 9, 10. Come down.
Whoa. Looks
8,
good.
7.
Whoa, looks real good. Just clean, just clean. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Nice weight, Stacy.
It's good, Stace.
Well, being in a sudden death situation is nothing new for Jenn Hanna and her Ontario teammates. To win the Ontario Championship, after a 1-4 start, they had to win 8 straight sudden death games. So this morning after her win, she said, I love playing tiebreakers.
Okay, we're on the nose. We're on the nose.
Well, especially when you have a little choice. I think she's happy to be in this thing after losing to Nova Scotia last night, as Colleen was after their loss. But you know, again, it's one of those things. It's part of, if you want to win this thing, you got to fight your way through.
Hanna tied for first, and Sandy Comeau 7th. in the skip rankings during round robin play. Fairly straightforward opening end, which isn't surprising.
No, we've seen this a number of times, and I think even when you get into the playoffs, players come even a little bit more conservative, not wanting to make a mistake early to get down.
Control. Just clean.
But
Just control.
Jenn, Hanna, and her team will be looking for a blank here.
Yep.
Try to take last rock into the second end.
These two teams did not have a lot of time in between the first tiebreaker that was played at 9:30 this morning and preparing for this tiebreaker. They have practice ice a half an hour before time and a team meeting to discuss rocks. Only about a 45-minute break that they could go get something to eat and refresh and get back out here. Do I think fatigue is going to be a factor? Not in this game, but the winner of this game will need to play a third game tonight against Saskatchewan in that Page playoff game, and that's where the long day might catch up with them.
While this is Jenn Hanna's first appearance at the Scott, she was runner-up for the 1998 Canadian Junior Women's Championship. She lost out to Melissa McClure of New Brunswick. That was the same year John Morris won the Canadian Junior Men's Championship. They both came out of the Ottawa Curling Club. Would have been quite a year if both representatives out of the Ottawa Curling Club had emerged as Canadian Junior champions.
Well, this is a situation where a young team coming to the Scott is unknown, but in Ontario, Jenn Hanna has been very well known and actually was ranked second going into the playdowns this year, behind only Sherry Madaw. But Jenn Hanna in the last 3 years has come third, second, third, and then finally won it this year in her fourth attempt at the women's title. So she's been around for a long time, even though she's young.
She played with a veteran, Ann Merklinger, one of those years at provincials.
Well, when Sandy Comeau made the shot to dispose of Colleen Jones, the Ontario-Alberta game was still being played. When the fans stood and applauded Colleen Jones, they stopped the time clocks in the Alberta-Ontario game. The 8 women on the ice applauded Colleen Jones.
Whoa, 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 keep it clean.
Whoa, whoa. I've never seen anything like it in a competitive tournament like this. That the games would actually stop to pay tribute to a team is the most respectful thing I have ever seen.
Same as this morning, eh? The weight line. It's close. Okay, same thing. Normal. Yep.
Yes, while they have all attempted to beat Colleen Jones, I don't think there's any question about the admiration they all hold for the 6-time Canadian champion. And we haven't heard the last of Colleen Jones. She's going to be in the Olympic trials in Halifax from December the 3rd to the 11th.
Firm. Clean, yep. Clean, clean. Just clean. Just
Looks good here for the blank for Team Ontario.
good.
Well done.
So Jenn Hanna with last rock advantage in end number 1 blanks the end to retain the hammer into end 2.
As official supplier to Curling's Season of Champions, True Value Hardware presents quality products for your house. True Value paint, made by us and made to last. We own the factory. We test and retest our paint. We guarantee it every can at every store. True Value, around the corner from your house.
The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? You think you've seen the sun, but you ain't seen it shine. Wait till the warm-up's underway.
Wherever business takes you, Best Western is there. Best Western, the world's largest hotel chain. Now featuring free high-speed internet access at most hotels. Visit bestwestern.com for locations.
The Scott Tournament of Hearts is coming to London's John Labatt Centre next February, and full event passes are on sale now. For the best seats in the house, you can call toll-free or order online. Come join us in the Forest City.
Hi, I'm Betty Hinton, Member of Parliament for Kamloops Thompson Caribou.
And I'm Jim Strauss, manager of the Strauss Herd Company.
We'd like to invite you to join us to attend the Strauss Canada Cup of Curling this March in beautiful Kamloops, British Columbia. Bring your skis and take a few runs at the Sun Peaks Resort.
Or bring your golf clubs and play our award-winning Kamloops golf courses.
Above all, enjoy watching the best curlers in the country at this year's Strauss Canada Cup of Curling.
Come join us in Kamloops.
I'd stab him.
I'd poison him.
I'd shoot him.
Miss Marple returns with all new mysteries that will keep you guessing.
How clever.
Until the very end.
How wicked.
4:50 from Paddington. Sunday at 8 on CBC.
Saturday night.
Our objective is to win the war.
Going behind enemy lines.
Drop him now!
To find one last survivor.
I can't leave and gather your gear.
Saving Private Ryan. Part of CBC's Movie Night in Canada. Saturday.
Welcome back to St. John's, the tiebreaker. Ontario, New Brunswick scoreless going into N2. Ontario winning this morning over Kathy King of Alberta and Sandy Comeau of New Brunswick, defeating the defending champion Colleen Jones and Team Canada.
I know. Save the energy. Okay, thanks.
Sandy Prosser, the lead for Team New Brunswick. They had some injury problems on this New Brunswick team this year. Stacey Sampson, the fifth player, had to fill in for both Sandy Prosser earlier in the year and then just before the playdowns for skip Sandy Comeau. Comeau fell on the stairs, broke her left wrist, and she was really undecided as to whether or not she should play in the New Brunswick provincial playdowns, but her teammates talked her into playing, and here she is in a tiebreaker, and the woman who will be recognized as the giant killer at this year's Scott, knocking off Colleen Jones.
Control. Yep. Yes. Hard. Hurry, Don. Whatever you got. Okay. Good throw, Steph.
On this second end, they continue to play in the rings, trading shots.
I don't think we're going to see a corner guard out of Ontario until this stone gets off the forefoot area, so look for this type of play to continue.
Yep. Hard. Clean. Good shot.
I think it would be safe to say that there was only one team in this field that might have ignored that rock in the forefoot in the second end and thrown the corner guard, and that would be Jennifer Jones of Manitoba.
The Territories might have also tried it.
True enough. I'll give you that one too, Don.
Careful.
Are definitely the teams that played with an aggressive mindset, that feeling that they didn't have anything to lose, that they knew the ice and would take chances early in games.
Well, talking about the Hanna team, Kathy King, after her loss in the tiebreaker this morning, said, "There's not much you can do when you come up against someone who is absolutely on fire. She made triples, she made run backs, she made everything. We needed to stop a one-man wrecking crew, but she was not going to be stopped."
I think that's so true. We've watched Jenn Hanna all week, and it is true. When she starts making shots, nothing is stopping her.
Hard, guys, hurry, hard. Hurry, hard. Hurry. Hurry, hard. Hurry. Nice, good, Al. That works.
New Brunswick lies 2 after the shot by Allison Farrell comes to rest.
A little mistake there from Ontario trying to throw a corner guard, and it slid too deep and allowed New Brunswick to roll into the rings.
Okay, Don, like you can.
Chance for double, though, for Don.
Whoa, whoa. Maybe up a bit. Clean. Yep. Yes. We're lucky. Moved a little. That's good. That's good.
She gets a jam on the second New Brunswick stone.
Good throw, Don. My fault.
Ontario does have shot.
Control. Whoa.
Whoa. No, I put it out a little. Put it out.
Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Come on. Okay, out. Okay, out.
And you heard Allison Farrell talk about putting it out away from the broom. And I have spoke about this all week, but a characteristic of this arena ice is that it is unforgiving if you are wide of the broom. Sometimes we'll see very swingy arena ice that if you were going to miss, that you better not be inside of the broom because sweepers won't be able to hold it because it curls so much. And so the tolerance level would be, yes, you can be wide and you'll still be okay. Not this ice. If you've got any tolerance level, it's to be inside and let your sweepers hold it. You can't be wide.
That's good. Good. Good, Don.
Tap back by Dawn Askin. The New Brunswick stone remains in the rings at the back of the 12.
Nice shot. Thanks.
Got to be a little bit careful here. New Brunswick does. Not to jam this one straight back. There is some separation.
It's normal. Close. 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 Yep. Yes. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Stacy Leger trying to remove that red rock, but she misses it. Misses her own at the back, so a big break here for Ontario as they have a chance to, with last rock, pick up multiple points.
That 85.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, say we'll watch that spot because Jen Hanna got caught there just a moment ago as well. The rock over curled.
Even's great. Even's great. 8. Even.
And they want to bring this rock even with the other stone in the house, so there is no cross house double available for New Brunswick.
Good.
Well, we've talked about how well Jen Hanna herself has curled. Her third Pascal Latande has really curled well in her first Scott.
Well, I think in the first few games after playing Team Canada, Pascal struggled along with the rest of the team, but has also elevated her level of play in the last half of the round robin.
Normal. Never. Close. Never. Close. Yep. Whoa.
Stacy Leger's second shot of the end. She'll get the hit, she'll get the roll, and that will atone for the earlier miscue.
It's a good shot, although still not out of trouble.
You can bump it or we can hit. I don't mind the hit.
If we hit and roll, that just goes on the back yellow, right? Doesn't take the red?
You can't roll too much. We can't lose this one. Nose hit's not bad. Little roll that way, maybe?
Pretty easy double.
Do you like that?
Okay, yeah.
Like that?
I think Ontario has to be careful because the nose hit is
A little
actually an
flip over
easier
here is
double.
pretty good right in front of our own.
Then exactly, a little flop over to their own would be a harder double to avoid the jam on the back Yellowstone.
Control, little up.
Clean.
Touch up.
Whoa. Whoa. Clean.
It's up. Near normal.
Clean. Yep. Whoa, whoa. Yep, yep. Good.
Both Yellowstones go out. Ontario lies 2. Well, the great shot that Sandy Comeau made on the 9th end against Colleen Jones is being referred to by many as the shot of the week. Here it is again. It's worth another look. A very narrow port past the top red, past the second red, onto the red. Team Canada stone to score 4. And after, Sandy Comeau reflected on her thoughts.
I knew if I stuck around, I got 4. If I didn't, I got 3. I knew I had to get through the port, and I knew I had to throw the right weight, and that's all I felt about. I saw a big hole there. Even though it was little, I guess it was just one of those things where sometimes you can see the shot and other times it's not there or maybe there or not sure, but that one I just felt so confident in throwing. I just knew I had to throw the right weight, and it was normal. Make sure you get through the hole, and the rock's gone.
Oh, close! Whoa!
Well, there certainly wasn't much of a hole.
Yeah, close!
Oh, it was a difficult shot. She made it look easy, though.
Yes! Okay.
And for Comeau, it was also a pressure shot because if she doesn't make it, Colleen would have stolen a point to tie the game.
We were most of the way.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, sometimes you get into those zones as a player that doesn't matter what you call, you're so focused on what you need to do. And we saw, again, we talked about this yesterday, we saw with PEI how they weren't able to just say, let's just make the shot. That's where the winning teams are in their head. They're just, this is the call, I'm gonna make it, and
Can we get this? Let's go.
don't worry about the misses. And that's it's so hard to get there sometimes. In a course of a week, you have ups and downs, but it's good to be peaking now as you come into the playoffs.
Well, in case some of our viewers are wondering about the tiebreaker this afternoon, normally it would have been game 3-4 of the Page playoff system this afternoon, 1-2 this evening, but because of 2 rounds of tiebreakers,
No, just clean.
they had to play the second game this afternoon, and that's the reason we're seeing Ontario and New Brunswick. Had there only been the 1 tiebreaker game this morning, there would have been a Page playoff game this afternoon and another one this evening.
A little mistake there from Ontario. They did not want to roll that stone over in front of their own. This is a much easier double now for Sandy Comeau.
Same weight, guys? Yep, that was good normal.
Easy double takeout, come down right on the nose, send them off on the way.
Straight up. Yep.
Sandy Comeau's forte, I think, is throwing soft weight, draw weights, little tap backs, bumper. Throwing big weight for a double is not her strength. I'm not saying she can't do it. It's just that she's more comfortable throwing that softer weight.
And this is that same spot that they've been caught with the rocks over curling
wait
here.
for it.
Gotta be careful.
Wait.
This is where Stacy Legier missed her first shot.
Whoa. Yeah.
Comeau jams the top red onto the second stone at the back.
Had to be on it.
That took the curl too. They got caught a little bit as well.
Totally. Just less weight. It came up a little more.
That is the difference on this ice, is if you pick up your weight, big takeout weight runs straight.
Control.
And anything in between there will take a degree of curl depending on how much more it is.
This is a tricky little shot here for Jenn Hanna to score a deuce, but certainly very makeable. Just need to hit this on the high side.
Yep.
Send that stone out the left side of the sheet.
Nail it.
As you said, Mike, anything coming into the broom side of the Yellowstone will get the 2 points, but if it over curls, there's a chance that it could straight jam and even give up a steal.
Control? Yep. Okay. Same thing. Good weight.
The final stone of the second out of the hand of Jenn Hanna.
Whoa.
She blanked the first with the intent of trying to score 2 here on the second. Will she be successful?
Over.
They're not going to be able to save the shooter.
That's all right.
It is going to roll out, and it's a single point on the second. Ontario leading New Brunswick 1-0 after 2.
That's good. Wait, was okay. Wait, it was fine. That was good.
A wide stance keeps you steady on your feet. So mounting the shocks outside the frame widen the stance of the Ford F-150. It's the first pickup to do this. Good luck knocking this off its feet. We keep thinking about tough because we want you to drive a Ford.
Tim Hortons Briar rolls into Regina next March, but only 2006 full event passes are on sale at the Agrodome box office. And when they're gone, they're gone. On February 24th, you can purchase in person, by phone, or online. So remember, February 24th, 10 a.m.
Back pain. It can affect more than your back. Robax Platinum, a special combination of 2 active ingredients. One to relieve back pain, the other to relax tense back muscles. Robax Platinum, helping you walk away from back pain.
That's great.
The roar you hear is 20 of Canada's top women's and men's teams competing for the right to represent us in Italy in 2006. And no city in Canada roars more than Halifax.
When we set out to replace cottonelle with an even better cottonelle, we asked women, what could be softer than cotton?
Flannel. Silk.
Cashmere. Oh my. Introducing new cashmere from Cottonelle, now quilted to be irresistibly soft.
Canada's new online magazine for arts, media, and entertainment. The latest trends and ideas shaping music, film, television, books, and more. Bringing you face-to-face with the people and issues shaping culture today. cbc.ca/arts.
Well, in Mile One Stadium this morning, it was a very emotional moment for the spectators and the players when Colleen Jones' run came to an end. The other game, you can see in the background, the players, Kathy King and Jenn Hanna and their teams applauding Colleen Jones. And Jenn Hanna, when I spoke with her, said she had a very emotional time.
Very emotional. Even thinking about it now, it makes me want to cry. Colleen is a total legend, and if there's anyone that deserved that, it's Colleen and her team, because I have so much respect for what they've done for the sport, and they will always, always be the best in my eyes and so many other people.
Yes, 6 Canadian championships for Colleen Jones. The first in 1982, the very first year of the Scot. 17 years later, she would get her second win. And then she has won 4 in a row, 5 of the last 6 Canadian Women's Championships.
Whoa. Yep. Wasn't going to go anywhere, so. Good, Sandy. No shit. Control. Control. Up. Clean.
Ontario with a 1-point lead, bringing the stone into the top of the forefoot.
Hard. Yep. Hard. 3 for nose. Hard,
And with the
hard.
lead, there's no need to really push the issue here for Ontario. Throw up a center guard.
There will be at one point in time. A 1-point lead certainly not going to be safe, but it's early in the game. There's choices that can be made by either team to be more aggressive, and New Brunswick didn't have to hit the rock that Ontario put in. They could have thrown a corner guard.
No.
And Ontario could have thrown a tight guard without a lot of danger being early in this game as well.
Just control. Close. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
depends on strategy on when you want to take your risks. And we find over and over and over again in the women's game, they were willing to take the risks in the last half of the game. When we go to the Tim Hortons Brier in Edmonton this year, I think the fans will see the exact opposite, and that is the men's teams will take all the chances early in the game and less risks later, where it's more wide open in the last 3 ends versus wide open the first 3 ends in the women's game. And that is a comfort level. The attitude is if we take chances early in the game, we'll have time to come back in the game later.
And it's also the ability to defend 2-point leads and 3-point leads. There's with the ability to throw the big weight, double peels, that sort of thing. You're right though. There's always this feeling that if you give up 2 or 3 early, you can get right back into it and just go hard. And I think you're right. You're going to see. I think almost with every team with a 1-point lead, if they do come in the rings, you're going to see the corner guard every time, even in the first end.
The 5th Scott appearance for Alison Farrell, the best she did previously, a 6-5 record in 2001.
Now the other difference usually between the Scott and the Brier is the amount of curl in the rocks. And that has got very little to do with the ice conditions. That's a different set of rocks that are used during the Brier every year than the Scott Tournament of Hearts. And those rocks at the Brier are more aggressive. They curl more than this set that is used at the Scott.
We heard Jen Hanna's comments about the elimination of Colleen Jones. Let's listen to what the woman who eliminated her had to say.
It's been a rocky road. We're starting to get ourselves in control of our own game because we're playing better. We're more solid as a team. I think it was just the fact that 2 of us hadn't been here before. I had never skipped before, so we feel really good right now. We just have to keep that momentum going, and we have to stay strong. We have to make sure that we can, hit the broom, throw the right weight, and everything will come through for us.
Sandy Comeau was a 2nd in the 1993 Scott Tournament of Hearts for Nancy McConnery, representing New Brunswick. So this is her 2nd Scott appearance.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah.
So a little opportunity here now for New Brunswick with that mistake from Ontario. Pascal Latendre rolled the wrong way, and that is a corner guard. I'm going to see Sandy Comeau ask Stacy Leger to go around that very tight guard.
Yeah. 5. Line's good. Got room. Close. Just hard! Hard! Hard, guys! Yep. Hard! Whoa.
Good looking shot.
10?
How's the weight?
Sorry.
Maybe a little too much. It slides out the back.
We heard how quiet those sweepers were. In that case, if they knew that rock was heavy, they should have let it rack on the corner guard. They were sweeping very hard for line. Nothing was said, communicated between the sweepers and Sandy Comeau holding the broom, and that's a big mistake.
Looked like she gave it at the end. Pretty good.
Looks like it's here all on its own.
Jen Hanna, 2 options, could have gone up there and tried to hit and roll in off that corner guard, and she's just going to take play away from it by drawing open.
This rock will have to dig in.
Sit down.
She could have drawn around that corner guard herself, I think, Mike. Choked off the corner, just been half around.
Go around. You want to draw around anyway?
Go around?
No. I don't mind the draw.
Hey.
If we can tuck one in there, it'll be shot. Let's go, Stace.
Yeah, well, it's straight, right? So there's no curl to take off the weight.
It's a very aggressive call here from New Brunswick. Good call, though. Pascal Latendre did slide very, very deep, so
Same weight.
virtually anything in the rings around this corner guard will be shot stone. That's the reason they're playing this shot.
Come on, curl.
The sweepers have indicated that it has the same weight, which it was too much through the rings. Their only hope is if it curls up to the backing, which was their first stone over there.
Whoa, whoa,
Okay.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Stay, stay.
It's fine.
That's wide open. The line
You're
wasn't
in there.
nearly as good on that one.
Yeah, she wasn't nearly as tight to the corner guard as she had been on her previous stone.
I think they opened up the ice, assuming that she'd throw less weight, therefore it would curl earlier, and they certainly didn't want to tap in
Just no
that
jam,
tight
okay?
red guard.
Nose isn't that bad.
I don't think it should.
I don't think so. I like this. Let's go.
Well, Joan, earlier you talked about Briar rocks. The set of rocks used in the Briar are the Manitoba Curling Association rocks. They have been used at Briars and Olympic trials and Canada
Brunswick?
Cups for years. However, there is great concern that they
Brunswick?
are literally falling
yeah, I
apart.
think a little bit.
The striking bands were releasing tiny chunks of granite at the Manitoba Men's Provincial, and Carrie Burtnick, a former Canadian champion, lost a critical game due to
Control
the
or what?
debris on the ice. Now officials are frantically
Your weight's
trying
been
to
good.
repair
Keep
the
it up.
stones in time for the Briar in
Little more.
Edmonton.
Interesting. They've been using those MCA rocks for years at the Briar because, as I said, they're aggressive. They curl a lot and makes for entertaining play at the Tim Hortons Briar. So I'm sure they'll do a fine job.
I don't think I've ever heard of stones falling apart before. That's a very unusual situation.
Dime-sized chunks of granite were apparently coming off the stones.
That's not good. Comes to curling stones, and that would be a shame if they were unable to use those stones.
I'm sure they have a plan B. This is a good call here for New Brunswick. Looking at two rocks, one behind the tee line, just calling for a straight freeze in behind up to the shot stone, the red stone.
I don't mind this. It's behind the two.
So if you come in a nice freeze in here and force Ontario to make a pass at it, hopefully get a jam and get your 2 points. If they come all the way back to that stone, Ontario may choose to freeze onto them as well, which would cause Sandy Comeau some difficulty getting 2 points.
Weight's good. K17.
1993 was her last appearance at the Scott. She had a record of 2-9 that year.
Whoa. It's on its own.
It's there.
Whoa.
It's there.
It's on its own.
Whoa, no line.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Still needs to curl just a little bit.
She will make contact, just nudging it back. Good shot by Sandy Comeau.
It's lovely, lovely weight.
Good weight. That's good. Good shot.
Thanks.
That works.
Yeah, just a hair less ice maybe. Had to be on top of it almost.
Yeah, I think so too.
It appears if you nose
Gotta
hit
be
this yellow
nose
stone, it goes across the top of that stone at the back 12-foot and will not jam.
The out turn. Normal.
I agree, Mike. Taking a look at coming into the nose hit on that yellow stone and pushing it across
Let's do it.
this red stone at the back of the house. That was the concern, whether it might jam, but I don't think it will.
If you hit it too thinly and miss that red stone, it would go on there. But yeah, I think anything that glances off of that red stone at the back 8-foot should result in it spinning across the top.
This is a tricky hit because if she hits this high side, doesn't curl enough, of course the Yellowstone will jam and Sandy Comeau will have a chance to hit for her 2 points.
Jenn Hanna's final stone of this third end, leading by a score of 1-0.
This is curling.
Watch the jam. Go.
Well, she gets a jam on her own at the back, but she also gets a jam on her own with the rock that
Sweep. Shot.
she was removing, and lies 1.
That stone's about 3/4 open to Sandy Comeau.
You like that?
There's a good look at it. So the blank
Right
is
there with
difficult.
See what it looks like from down there.
Yeah.
Got about 2/3 of that, eh? Well, got to make sure we hit it.
The nice thing is, Sandy has seen this shot
3/4
thrown
of it? About 2/3.
twice
Yeah,
by
almost
Jenn
3/4.
Hanna in this end. She have a good idea of the ice call.
Right up, Sandy.
Yep.
You got her.
The difficulty of this peel is that you think in your mind, well, I only need to hit a corner of it if it was wide open. Just that guard out front is enough of a visual distraction to play around in your head a little bit of how you might release the stone.
Yeah, when it's wide open, you can actually overcurl, hit the nose, and it's not a big deal. Here it is. It is a big deal if it does overcurl.
Very quickly, they jump onto it. Sandy Prosser and Allison Farrell trying to get past the guard. They get a rub, and it's a steal of one.
Try, Sandy. One red.
Big steal.
So through 3 ends in this tiebreaker for the right to move to the page 3-4 game, 2-0 Ontario leads New Brunswick.
I mean, we couldn't afford.
Curling. With every game played, your contact to the world expands. With over 1 million participants utilizing 1,100 clubs across the country, curling is an entertaining, social way to stay active. Play for fun, play to win, or just come out and enjoy the membership benefits. Clubs can be assisted by the Canadian Curling Association's Development Fund, which serves to promote, renovate, and offer advice on operations. Get involved. Join a club near you today. It has lifetime value.
It's bred for European tastes, but built for North American desires. With a seductive, ergonomic design, provocative performance, responsive power, sexy, low-profile wheels, eye-popping curb appeal, and superb handling in tight corners. Not to mention driveways, decks, and even those silly motor cars. The Karcher high-pressure washer. You really have no options.
2 keys.
Hey, thanks. Cheers.
Give him to me! Give him to me! Oh, I think you've sprained his neck! Alexander Keith labored on this pier since 1820, and you plonk it on the head like it's a piñata! It's the pride of Nova Scotia. Give it the respect it deserves. Now, grab that there napkin, make a wee neck brace. No, Nancy, you've done enough for one night. Wrap it around. Not a hat! A neck brace, Jimmy! Is it so difficult? It's not a fashion show, it's an emergency!
Come try your first end.
I wasn't sure, but I tried it.
Your very first end.
We tried it.
You should try it.
Now we do it together. Get out.
Go curling.
It's so much fun!
Meet between the sheets. Be part of a tradition.
Be part of a team.
You don't know what you're missing.
You never forget your first end.
Your very first end.
Come play.
Discover curling.
See you on the ice.
See you on the ice.
See you on the ice.
Get off your butt and go curling!
I said yes.
Calm down.
Tuesday.
I feel like I'm trapped in an episode of Matlock.
Someone please get this man a Kleenex. Put her on. Not to put her in jail.
This is Wonderland, Tuesday at 9 on CBC.
Ow!
Canada's top women curlers. 12 teams. 1 champion. The battle for the Scott Tournament of Hearts. Semi-final live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern on CBC Television.
Two 2-0 Ontario leads New Brunswick through 3 ends of play. As we have said before, in watching this New Brunswick team play, when they're down, they've got the opposition right where they want them. Down 2, stealing 3 against Prince Edward Island. Against Nova Scotia, stealing 5. Tied against Canada, stealing. They've had success late in almost every game in stealing very critical points.
And I'm going to refer to that because I think they're playing into Sandy Comeau's strength.
Easy,
Let's look at this last end when she chose to play the peel instead of drawing down and taking her 1 point. throwing big weight is not her forte. She does not defend very well, and it's shown over and over again in her record. Her strength is in that lovely draw weight, the ability to throw the tap backs, seeing the ports. That's why she's able to steal. She loves rocks in play. I think she made a mistake last end by trying to play an accurate big weight hit when that is not her thing. She should have took her point and started putting some rocks in play.
What is it? 10.
Yes, as much as you'd love to steal late in the game, you'd rather have a 6-point lead coming home, I think. you know, you don't want to be having to steal 3 and 4 enders all the time. That's not a great way to live.
Nose.
But sometimes one of the factors of strategy is playing your team's strengths. And here is where Sandy Comeau, you know, most teams, of course, would play that peel. But if that is not your thing, better made a wrong shot than a right shot missed.
Read up. Hard. Clean. Shot.
I like the tap back on the first call. I would really like it on the second call here. And she's playing a hit. Again, building up a wall of stones at the back of the 8-foot. Your opponent's stones is usually a nice way. It's another good option to create some offensive chances.
Ontario's loving this style of play. 2-point lead that they really didn't earn. And New Brunswick playing wide open. No pressure here on Ontario.
Like you can, Don.
Whoa! Clean? Pull up. That's good, Don. Good job.
You
Good.
want to do that? Or? Yeah.
Calling for the corner guard now. Rock is behind the tee line. So when they throw this corner guard, Ontario has a couple of choices. They can peel that corner guard, or they can come around it top 8-foot. And a jargon that we use that is choke off the draw around that corner guard and make New Brunswick continue hitting.
Yep.
Yeah, we've seen Jenn Hanna often go up and she won't peel. She'll be the aggressor and come around. But little mistake there from New Brunswick, allowing Ontario to play a hit to lie to.
Nice and easy, like you can. Nice and easy.
And as you were talking about earlier, Dawn Askin has been the top of the seconds all week, a very strong player. We did see her struggle in one game, mid-round robin. But other than that, she's a very good shot maker.
Pascal. Whoa, just center. Good shot.
Good. Good girl.
The three of them, Dawn Askin, Steph Hanna, and Jenn Hanna, have played together for many years in juniors. The new member to this team was Pascal, the third, Pascal Latong.
You want to play?
She came in to replace their regular third, Joelle Sabarin, who is now their fifth and is also expecting her first child in May.
Control.
Close, yes.
Yep.
Hard.
Hard. Whoa, clean. Yep.
Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa. That's good, Allie. Good shot. Good.
Midweek, things didn't look particularly good for Team Ontario. They started with their 7-4 win over Canada, but then they lost 4 of their next 5 games to Newfoundland, to Manitoba, to the Territories, and to Prince Edward Island.
Hey, Pascal.
And then they went on a roll. 8-3 over BC, 8-3 over New Brunswick, 7-6 over Saskatchewan, 8-5 over Alberta before losing last night to Nova Scotia.
Yep.
And as we pointed out, that's when Jenn Hanna elevated her play. Playing in the 80s and 90s in all of those games.
Whoa. Good shot.
And of course, the other rival for shot of the week in her final stone against Team Saskatchewan when she drew through a port with a perfect tap up to the button for the win.
Is this, eh?
Yes, that shot against Stephanie Lawton of Saskatchewan, when it looked as though Lawton with her final draw had buried a stone for shot rock, is still being talked about. Coming through the port, a tap back to the button.
Yep. Hard, guys, hard. On the nose.
You can see the comfort level with New Brunswick. They're willing to be aggressive and throw up the corner guard if the rock is behind the tee line, but if there's a rock in front of the tee line, they want to hit. It's a little bit of a flip-flop in philosophy. They need to make a game plan, and that is, are we going to play aggressively for multiple points? And if so, we need to play those tap backs or ignore rocks and throw corner guards no matter where they are in the house. Because it's looking like right now they're going to be forced to their 1 point without any opportunity for getting more than one.
Whoa, little roll. Whoa. Easy. Atta girl.
Nice shot.
Nice sweep. Good sweep. Thank you. Who's end up on this?
I made reference to the shot by Jenn Hanna, and here it is. On Wednesday against Saskatchewan, through the port. The tap back to the rock on the edge of the button. Shot stone, victory, Ontario.
What a shot. Every time I see it, I think, oh my goodness, just to get through the hole was one thing, and perfect weight for the tap back is the second thing.
That's a good shot there from New Brunswick.
Nice, good sweep, guys.
Control.
A little tricky hit and flop here for Jenn Hanna. As you can see, that's a, she can't come to the nose, she'll jam the New Brunswick stone back on her own. This is the same spot in the second end where her rock ran a little straight when she had a hit for two.
Okay.
If your shooter just to roll over here. We've seen the shot a couple times already this end, though.
But I think she has to be careful about not being wide here and not a lot of movement. Going away from the center line, the curl is actually outside in.
Control. Whoa. Queen.
Soft weight.
Nothing? Yeah, we got a piece of it.
She's got a piece of it.
Okay. That's good.
The shooter will also roll out.
Looks like she was wide right from the get-go there. She was actually sliding up the wrong side of the center line, Beard.
And you heard her take responsibility for that as well.
Just smidge wide on the slide, right? Just on the slide, yeah. Okay.
Let's take a look at it.
She said she just slid straight wide.
You look at the stone, it's more than half the stone was on the near side of the center line. The broom was on the other side of the center line. So she just kicked out on the wrong direction, had to make a little adjustment, a little artistic recovery there.
Queen of compensation.
There you go.
It's important to clarify how she could be wide, because she said about the slide being wide, not that at the end she pushed it back to the broom to be wide. That's different. The rock will react differently than starting straight, but just a little bit wide of the line of delivery. Important communication to fess up on those.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's heavy.
We always refer to artists and technicians. That was a little more artistic than the pure technical thrower just slides up at the broom all the time. I do that all the time, slide wide and try to hook it back to the broom, but not for the faint of heart.
Come on, it's coming out, it's coming out.
You are a snowflake. Every delivery is a new one.
That's correct.
Yeah. That's a Marcy Gooderite-ism.
Okay, Sandy.
Trying to freeze. And again,
I get full on?
late in the end, Sandy Comeau's
Thought it would
other
come
choice
that
on that rock would be just to hit and say, nope, doesn't look good for
28,
multiple
6 long,
points.
so it's like
You know,
Jen's 80.
And let's blank this end and try to get her 2 next.
When you get down to skip stones and you have to make a perfect freeze to try to score 2, you're going to get better opportunities than this to try to score 2 points. And
Don't change that.
and you know, that's a little, I think, overly aggressive.
We heard Sandy Comeau talk in the interview with Dawn that this is her first time as a skip, and these are the little tiny strategic options that may be digging a hole for New Brunswick in a game like this.
Final stone for Jenn Hanna. A single point on the second with last rock, stealing a point on the third to lead 2-0.
Just going back to the strengths of Sandy Comeau, I think, you know, if you're Jenn Hanna, let's make her hit, I think would be the shot here.
Great shot.
Hanna does hit to lie 2.
I made a nose hit. We should switch. I'm the one who needs to make the rolls. Yeah.
Nose hit. Yep, just control. Just control.
Sandy is still wearing the support on her left wrist from when she broke her wrist falling down the stairs prior to the New Brunswick provincial trials. It has affected her sweeping, but then other members of the team say that no skip is really a good sweeper.
That's true.
That is not true. There are good sweepers for skips.
Yeah, mostly former thirds who've moved up.
Will she save her shooter?
Good
Nice
shot.
shot.
Yes. There was a danger that shooter could roll, but it makes contact and remains there for shot point. 1 point after 4. New Brunswick trails.
They say football is a game of inches. I wish we had inches.
The Scott Tournament of Hearts, proud sponsor of women's curling for 24 years.
The Strauss Herb Company manufactures a full line of herbal dietary supplements based on traditional European recipes. Our biggest Strauss Heart Drop sale of the year is on now at a health food store near you.
We came here for the rivers and mountains. Penny's our gardener. She's blooming smart, naturally. Folks come in. We know what they need. Drop by for some advice. I'll show you how to tie a fly.
True value. Help is just around the corner.
The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? You think you've seen the sun, but you ain't seen it shine. Wait till the warm-up's underway.
Wherever business takes you, Best Western is there. Best Western, the world's largest hotel chain. Now featuring free high-speed internet access at most hotels. Visit bestwestern.com for locations.
So, Randy, what do you think of my curling game?
Well, Jim, it looks to me like your game needs a little bit of help. But your family of Strauss products are right on the button, like Strauss Heart Drops, available at a health product retailer near you.
Hogwarts is no longer safe. The Chamber of Secrets has been opened.
I smell blood.
Scared, Potter? You wish.
The adventure, the magic, and the danger return. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Clever out there.
Sunday, March 6th on CBC.
The brass want to send you to Kabul. Going to the Caribbean.
Jim's been taken hostage.
How much are they asking?
$2 million.
For Jim Walker. Jim Walker. U.S. or Canadian?
U.S.
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 Welcome back to St. John's. That's Kitty Vitty in the gap in the harbor. And inside Mile 1 Stadium, 1 point separates Ontario and New Brunswick as we get set for the fifth end.
Let's go back a bit. Proper, yep. Yep.
Lot of line.
Gotta go.
The winner of this game moves into the Page playoff encounter this evening against the third place team, Stephanie Lawton of Saskatchewan. 4 teams were in a tiebreaker this morning as the result of their 6-5 records. Ontario beat Alberta. New Brunswick knocked off Team Canada. They are playing. The winner will move on against Saskatchewan this evening. Manitoba and British Columbia play in the Page 1-2 playoff game. The winner of the 1-2 game advances to the final. The loser faces the winner of Saskatchewan and the winner of this game. The team that survives this tiebreaker playing Saskatchewan.
Nice throw. Very good. His control.
Sandy Prosser having a perfect game so far.
My rocks are like attracted to the face of this.
Been pretty uncomplicated though so far, and as I said, with New Brunswick pulling that rock right into the rings, Ontario is quite happy to continue to hit away.
It's good, Sandy.
Oh, good.
Good throw.
Here we go. Let's call for a corner guard.
Nice and easy.
Just 2.
That's good.
Halfway. Let it work a little. 2. 1, 2.
Gotta move.
2.
Okay, yep.
Well, Joan, I know between ends you were frantically scanning the rosters to find a good sweeping skip. Were you successful?
Okay, well, Mike's point, because I hate it when he's right, he said that any of the really good sweeping skips must have played another position ahead of time. So all of the people I was thinking of, oh boy, he was right. And the only one I can come up with is maybe Stephanie Lawton out of Saskatchewan, because you know the rest of her team would yell at her if she didn't sweep really hard. And I think she's a pretty good sweeper for being a skipper her whole life.
Line's coming.
We'll ask the Saskatchewan players what they think.
Room. Lot of room.
Room to get by. What about weight?
Good throw, Al.
It'll come to rest with a bite of the 4.
Right to it. Little bumps, okay?
Don Askin, not surprisingly, number 1 all week,
Like you can here.
leading her
Top
New
8
Brunswick counterpart Allison Farrell in statistics through the first 4 ends.
This is her first real test. When there's rocks in play and the level of shot making becomes more difficult, the difference between players become evident pretty quick.
Line! 6, 7.
Will they get it by? Frantically working on this stone.
Nice brushing.
Good shot.
Good shot.
Good shot. Good girl.
Good guys. Just a hair less, eh?
Yeah.
Just by.
Dangerously close. No daylight between those two.
Whoa then. Let it work.
No line.
Allison Farrell may have a little more weight than Don Askin, but now it's starting to move.
Whoa.
Weight only.
Whoa.
Gotta go for weight.
Yep.
She won't be quite as tight to the guard.
This is a great shot.
But it is an excellent shot right on top of the Ontario stone.
They needed to keep sweeping that stone to keep the angle.
I'm trying to say if you got to go for weight, then go.
Ontario still is shot stone. That was a sweeping error.
It's hard to
Sorry.
call.
Right here. All right.
You want to bump that back or sit on it?
I was a little much.
Yeah.
The indication from Jenn Hanna is that she wanted Dawn Askin to come down into the top of the 8-foot.
Line, hard line.
This is a tough shot.
Where?
If you leave it wide open, you know New Brunswick is going to hit it and try to run kind of a double.
They have to work again to get past the
We're
guard.
going to overcurl.
They are by, but it's,
keep coming, Steph.
as you heard one of the brushers say, it's going to overcurl.
It's not bad, though.
Pretty good shot.
Sweet.
Good.
There is no tap back on that red
We're
stone.
by. We're going to overcurl.
Stone at the
How
top
much can
12
you
foot
stand
just
that,
come in.
Eddie?
You can only see about a quarter of that stone. And
Hey.
there's about an inch of that yellow stone exposed. So they're going to try to just freeze one in there again.
So the Ontario stone is protecting the tap back. The yellow stone to be promoted. So all that New Brunswick can do is corner freeze on the rock that they have just thrown. Put another yellow one in there that perhaps they'll be able to tap
Gotta go.
later in the end.
Line's good. 4-5. Line's good. Hard. Yep. Hard blind. Hard blind. 4-5. Hard blind. Well, yep. Hard. Hard. Whoa. Okay. Good.
Tricky position here for Ontario. Anything they throw kind of around those top stones will allow some sort of play on that rock. They have to be careful not to slide too deep, also to leave a double on the red. So they're playing in a very small portion of the ice. They need to get part of the stone covered, and they need to leave it top 8 foot.
I'm wondering whether they should be looking at drawing to the other side. There really isn't any good spot for this red stone that's going to help them later in the end.
Even the other side, though, there's not much room. Basically the rings are cut down now because of all these guards. So Jenn Hanna has to be careful to also leave herself an opportunity to score 2 on her last one. Looks like she's going to end up drawing the 4 foot here, but
High's good. Top 12.
the smallest little mistake here could put Ontario into some trouble.
Still got to move a lot. Whoa. Stop. Okay. Good. Okay.
The red rock in the 4. Shot stone belonging to Ontario.
On the nose. Okay.
I think we want to go that way, don't we? Yeah? Sure.
And if I'm New Brunswick, I like the nose on this stone. It's the control area of the 4 foot. So then you have a couple of stones that maybe you'll be able to promote to the 4 foot with skip stones.
Control. Yeah. Yep. Hard. Hard for nose. Hard for nose, guys. Hard for nose.
Farrell Prosser really working on the brush, and they drive the red stone directly back through the rings.
That second one.
Yeah. We almost could have let it go and put the red one. Yeah. It's close.
Control. A little bit up. Control.
Ontario just looking to hit and roll over to the right as we're looking at it. If they can hit about a third of that, sorry, a half to 2/3 of that stone, they may even chip the left-hand yellow over enough to open up a path on the intern side to the 4 foot.
Yep. Or just stick there for a nose mic and they have something to tap later.
Hard. Hurry. Good. Good.
Well, we talked about skips not being very good brushers, but the front end for Ontario, Dawn Askin and Steph Hanna, I think are as good a brushing pair as there has been this week here at the Scott.
Any team here at the Scott Tournament of Hearts has a very good front brush and front end brushers. You just don't get to this level unless you've got people that are fit and are able to carry rocks a long way.
Looking to come in, block the port, one option. If the line's great, maybe a corner freeze.
And those are the two options for New Brunswick. Coming heavy here is only going to help Ontario and set up a possible 3. Cannot be heavy on this stone.
We gotta go.
Wait only. No line.
No line, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wait's good.
Wait if you can.
Wait's good.
Wait if you can.
Wait's good. Got room.
Wait.
Lot of room. Lot of room.
Coming in? No.
Still on the outside red for line.
Still in the front.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Hard. Hard, guys.
Okay.
We talked about how Jenn Hanna curled superbly over the final 6 games.
I hate doing that bump.
Sandy Comeau also upped her level of play over the final 6 games. And that's the reason they are in this position. A second tiebreaker to determine which team advances against 3rd place Stephanie Lawton of Saskatchewan tonight.
New Brunswick has blocked off a couple of draws here. I like the tap on the top red stone.
Just bump it to there. Well, hold on, that's not to there then, that's to there. And if she runs that 7 and is able to go in off it, we may lose that if we get too close. Okay, no further. This doesn't play.
Worried about this raise being
Well,
left.
no, I'd rather do this. Yeah.
On the top Yellowstone, even if they do
Right now
make
it's
this
looking
tap.
like 1 is
I think it's worth the try.
It's a legitimate concern, though, for Ontario that if they do bump it back, if they get unlucky and bump it to the back tee line, to be able to run that back and double both of the Ontario stones out as well. So very delicate shot here for Jenn Hanna. You'd like to bump it just to the top 4 foot, where if the short run back is made, you would still be shot
Just
stone.
the top 8? Or where?
Yeah, I think top 8 biting the 4 at most. We
Think you
can't
can
leave
go
her
that
a run.
deep?
Huh?
Think you can go as deep as biting the floor?
Well,
you gotta just nudge it top 8.
Yeah, I don't think we can go very deep because we might leave her a huge shot here and with nothing left afterwards. Touch more.
That's one of the dangers facing Jenn Hanna with this delicate tap back.
Close. Pretty thin if you can. It's a little up. Yep. 8.
Steph Hanna and Dawn Haskin immediately go to work. The line looks pretty good.
Real hard. Real hard.
Is it going to over curl too much?
Whoa, whoa. Hey. Sit. Okay, that's not bad.
That worked out well, actually, for Ontario in terms of not setting anything up to take their own stone off the side of the 4 foot. There's a couple of options, though, for Sandy Comeau here to get one buried.
I don't know if that goes back or if it turns.
What do you see?
She has this raise for 2, and she has through the port for 2. So
The outturn looks really pretty from down there.
What?
The outturn looks real pretty from down there.
I know, but if we leave it open, that's the only hit
Well, why
she's
don't we
got
go
for
right
2.
here and then she won't be.
Go right
if we
there?
go here, then if she hits it, she won't be.
Yeah? Right there?
I mean, even if we get a nudge off.
Okay.
Even if we just close up the hole.
Yeah.
Can we get through that port? Just tuck around so she doesn't have the raise even.
Worried about
We don't want to go too deep and leave
drawing
her raising
through this
What's that?
into this area.
We don't. But that's what I mean. Even if we're short and we take
And
away
then
that
leaving
if we can corner
a
around
double
it.
for Ontario. So they're talking about the placement of this draw. They can rub off their own Yellowstone on the right-hand side to redirect, deep into the pile. I think this is a good call.
That is the play, actually. If you can just feather your own and roll right into the side of the button, Jenn Hanna won't have a shot to score other than trying to follow that same path right to the button.
In eliminating Colleen Jones this morning, it was an even smaller port that Sandy Comeau came through.
That's light.
It's good.
Immediately upon release, she said it's
Go
light.
line. Gotta go. How's line? Line's coming now.
Oh.
We can wait. We can wait. Okay. 5.
Yep.
Yep.
Beginning to make a move now. Will she find the hole between those stones out front? It all depends on weight. She gets a slight rub.
That's fine, Sandy. That takes that away.
But that pretty much blocks any attempt to get a deuce for Jenn Hanna.
I don't see how Jenn Hanna can get in there for 2 points. So even though the shot wasn't made, I think she's blocked this off pretty good for Jenn.
And do you think I can hurt us if I hit it over here?
Not with draw weight.
You think that goes through?
I'll try.
You want to try it? Okay.
I don't think it goes.
Front end shook their head no.
They were looking at raising, trying to get this one through a hole.
Doesn't look nice from down here.
And the front end has said there is no hole. It's going to jiggle around. Although I don't know how they'd hurt themselves by playing that.
Yeah, I don't think they. There may not be hole. You might be able to make it a little rub off that top yellow, but.
Other side.
So Jenn Hanna is throwing this rock away, taking her 1 point and running.
Let's go. I guess I'll throw an out turn.
Done, you go.
Not really much choice.
Where are you going?
No good chance for a second point. The cluster of stones at the top of the 12 and the top of the 8 prevent any chance for a draw for a second point. And it's a single point for Ontario, leading 3-1 after 5.
Hey, so what do you want to do for lunch? Thinking soup or sandwich? Sandwich, that's good.
No. That's not enough. You boys must have proper lunch. Hearty soup and sandwich together. That's proper lunch, okay?
It's the complete lunch that satisfies.
So, soup and sandwich at Tim's? Sounds good.
Tim Hortons ham and Swiss sandwich on a toasted bun. And our new creamy field mushroom soup in a combo, just $6.49.
Curling. With every game played, your contact to the world expands. With over 1 million participants utilizing 1,100 clubs across the country, curling is an entertaining, social way to stay active. Play for fun, play to win, or just come out and enjoy the membership benefits. Clubs can be assisted by the Canadian Curling Association's Development Fund, which serves to promote, renovate, and offer advice on operations. Get involved. Join a club near you today. It has lifetime value.
They say football is a game of inches. I wish we had inches.
The Scott Tournament of Hearts, proud sponsor of women's curling for 24 years.
1,000 years ago, the Vikings arrived. Their journey ended at Lanza Meadows, now a National Historic Site, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the only authentic Viking settlement in North America, the place where your journey will begin. Newfoundland and Labrador.
Hurry! 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 Come on, hurry hard! Hurry, hurry, hurry! Hurry!
As they take a break at the fifth end, let's take a look at the final stone by Sandy Comeau on the fifth with her last rock. She pretty much denied Jenn Hanna any chance to pick up more than a single point. She was trying to draw through a very narrow port to lie shot, but she got a rub out front. She was light, and there was no opportunity for a deuce for Ontario. Jenn Hanna threw her final stone away, and at the midpoint of this tiebreaker, it's Ontario leading New Brunswick by 2. I'll be back to talk to Colleen Jones after this.
Elevating the new Ford 500 means raising the seats for a better view of the road. It means as much room in the back as in the front. It means taking the sedan to a whole new level. The new Ford 500. We keep thinking about what a sedan should be because we want you to drive a Ford.
The Scott Tournament of Hearts is coming to London's John Labatt Centre next February, and full event passes are on sale now. For the best seats in the house, you can call toll-free or order online. Come join us in the Forest City.
With Jack Frost still nipping at your, well, you get the picture. The time is right for an early spring sojourn to the West Coast's most hospitable destination. Balmy. See something you like? And just for you folks who tend to get homesick, we've made special arrangements to add a little ice. Now that's got to feel a lot like home. Call now for package details. Victoria, British Columbia. Is there somewhere else?
I'd poison him. I'd shoot him.
Miss Marple returns with all new mysteries that will keep you guessing.
How clever.
Until the very end.
How wicked.
4:50 from Paddington. Sunday at 8 on CBC. Saturday night.
Our objective is to win the war.
Going behind enemy lines.
Drop him now!
To find one last survivor.
I can't leave and gather your gear.
Saving Private Ryan. Part of CBC's Movie Night in Canada. Saturday.
The Ford Hotshots competition is an annual curling skills event that takes place before the round robin. All Scott competitors take part in the first round. The field is then reduced to the top 8, and these are the women who advance to the second round of these 6 skill testing shots. A hit and stay, a draw to the button, a draw through the port, a raise, a hit and roll, and a double takeout. From this field of 8 in the quarterfinal round, it's reduced to 4 and then to a final twosome. 1998 Hotshots champion Allison Farrell of New Brunswick was the best in the quarterfinal, and she is joined in the final 4 by Jenn Hanna of Ontario, Kathy King of Alberta, and Kay Zink of Nova Scotia. The winner will walk away with a 2-year lease on a 2005 Ford Freestyle SEL presented by Ford of Canada. For the last 4 years, she has etched her name on the Scott Trophy. I said earlier in the telecast, we haven't seen the last of Colleen Jones, and here she is. Colleen, you've still got a couple of big events on the calendar. You've got the Canada Cup in Kamloops, March 15th to the 20th, and then the big event, the Olympic trials in Halifax.
Those are in Halifax, our own backyard, and of course we're really excited about that. It's hard not to be disappointed about coming up short in the Scott, because it's an event that we have just loved and just taken a lot of pride in coming and playing really well. But, you know, there's a lot still ahead. But we're sorry we let this one slip away.
Colleen, it was a very emotional time for you. Tremendous reaction from the crowd here at Mile One Stadium, a standing ovation. The other game even stopped and they applauded.
I've never seen that, and you know, I wish I had enjoyed it more. They were so kind, the fans here, and the curlers were all so gracious and wonderful. And I know the curlers would be loving the idea to beat us because they want to win too. But I think they respected what our team has done over the last couple of years, because it's hard enough to get to the top. It's really tough to stay there.
Well, you always had the target on your back as Team Canada. All the other teams were trying to beat you, and you knew sooner or later that the rain was going to end.
Well, I didn't like to think of it that way, but you're right. I mean, all kind of, you know, rains or whatever you want to call it come to an end, and but we weren't ready for it right now. There have been a lot of wonderful fans who have come up and said things like, well, it's the Olympic trials that you want now. You know, you've won the Scott enough and just focus on the trials. But by the same token, for us, this event is so special. It's so wonderful. It's such a great championship, and we let it go very reluctantly. We've got no choice, so we have to let it go. But we'll focus on the Olympic trials, and those are in Halifax, and it'll be a great show.
Well, you've set a standard that might never be equaled, a tremendous career, and it isn't over yet.
I hope it's not over yet. That's right. I'm not dead yet. Yeah.
And we'll be back with the second half of this tiebreaker, Ontario and New Brunswick. Thank you, Colleen Jones.
The Scott Tournament of Hearts on CBC. Brought to you by Scott Towels, getting you out of big messes.
Did you let the dog out this morning?
Scott Towels, getting you out of big messes.
Come try your first end.
I wasn't sure, but I tried it.
Your very first end.
We tried it.
You should try it.
Now we do it together.
Get out.
Go curling.
It's so much fun!
Meet between the sheets. Be part of a tradition.
Be part of a team.
You don't know what you're missing.
You never forget your first end.
Your very first end.
Come play.
Discover curling.
See you on the ice.
See you on the ice.
See you on the ice.
Get up, get light, and go curling!
For centuries, the Strauss family harvested herbs throughout Europe. Practicing herbalists, they've been handing their recipes and processes down through the generations. 7th generation herbalist Jim Strauss learned the craft at his grandmother's side, gathering and tasting herbs from the time he could walk. Strauss Herb Company, celebrating their 25th anniversary with 25% off 50 and 100 milliliter bottles of the original Strauss Heart Drops. On sale now at participating health food retailers.
Tim Hortons Briar rolls into Regina next March, but only 2006 full event passes are on sale at the Agrodome box office. And when they're gone, they're gone. On February 24th, you can purchase in person, by phone, or online. So remember, February 24th, 10 a.m.
Ever notice the way guys love to use their Karcher? Is it because of Karcher's German engineering, incredible features, exceptional styling? It's because Karcher really cleans. Karcher invented the first household pressure washer and sells more of them worldwide than anybody else. Karcher is also the world leader in commercial and industrial cleaning equipment. Everyone loves their Karcher. Can you blame them? Trust Karcher. You'll look for things to clean.
The Scott Tournament of Hearts on CBC. Brought to you by Karcher. You'll look for things to clean. By Tim Hortons. Toasted ham and Swiss and soup combo. And by the original Strauss Heart Drops. Trust the tradition.
Welcome back to Mile One Stadium in St. John's through 5, 2 points separating Ontario on top and New Brunswick. These two teams battling for the right to go into the 3-4 Page playoff game against Stephanie Lawton of Saskatchewan this evening. And the other Page playoff game, the 1-2 battle, Jennifer Jones and her 9-2 Manitoba team against Kelly Scott, 8-3 from British Columbia. The loser of the 1-2 game goes into the semifinal against either Stephanie Lawton or one of these two teams. The semifinal tomorrow afternoon, the final on Sunday afternoon, and both games will be seen on the full CBC television network.
Go that way. That way? Okay. Here we go, a corner guard. And you knew you had confidence that Sandy Comeau was going to call this if that rock slid behind the tee line. And that's what happened with Ontario. A little too heavy.
Should have all time. Should be 3.
Well, Sandy Prosser has really upped the level of her game. She was tied for 10th among leads. And here she is at 100% through 5 ends.
Good throw, Sandy.
Good shot.
And tight. Well, girls, let him move a little. Okay. 3 on its own. 3. Go across the center. Real tight on its own. Okay. Just make sure it's tight. Line's good now. Hard. Real tight. Yep. Easy. Nice shot. Good sweep. Whoa.
Great shot. They're getting into it now, second half of this game.
Prosser is being asked to come down on top of the Ontario stone at the back of the forefoot.
Lots of room. Just wait only. Got room. Got room. We're just 4-5. No. It's coming now. No, coming down. Coming 7. Oh, 6.
Line's getting better.
Stone is slowing down. It is also curling more.
Great shot.
And Prosser puts it right on the button.
Well done. Forget about that.
95. Seal it. Top 8, Dawn. Yeah.
Don Askin will attempt to travel an almost similar path to come to rest in the top of the 8.
7, 8, 6. No, more than that. 7. Yeah. Sure? Yeah. Line's really good. As long as it stops. A little tap, maybe? No. It's got to curl. No tap. No tap. Curling.
A little deeper than Jenn Hanna wanted.
Go, Al.
And you can see that Yellowstone now is frozen on the back. It gives
like
New Brunswick a chance to lie to. Get that second Yellowstone half hidden behind the guard.
Yeah, it's good. What is it? Back line. Hard. Whoa. Back line. Yep. Yes. Hard.
They have to work to get it past the guard sitting out front. They just get it by.
Whoa.
And with an inside roll, New Brunswick lies, well, just one. That stone rolled just a little too far.
Whew.
Still a nice shot.
I think we're onto this one. Okay.
Well swept.
Just control. Nice and easy. Let's go.
Jenn Hanna looking to run this guard back. I think she's running it onto the right-hand stone, maybe flop in front a little bit. Either or would be okay, though, I think. Gotta go.
Trying to drive this red back.
Top. Okay, that's fine.
She moves the top yellow over, and the red takes out a stone at the back, but it's still New Brunswick lying shot.
Okay. I'm actually surprised that Ontario didn't play this freeze that New Brunswick has
Yeah, there
called
was an
for.
opportunity. That's right.
That run back is very difficult. The freeze was available. They had just played it.
Freeze.
New Brunswick makes this freeze, and they're set up for at least 2 points.
It's close. Whoa. Wait, Sarah. What is it? It's close. Should be 7.
No.
Line only.
Line
only.
No.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. No line.
No.
Line only. Line. No line. Close, close, close. Yep. Yep.
Great
hard.
shot. Great looking shot here.
Whoa. Yep. Hard. Hard. Hard, guys. Hard, 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 hard.
It's a good shot. Would have liked it another 3 or 4 inches deeper to lie 2, but still in a great position.
Normal.
Okay, like, yeah. Let's go.
Playing the run back again now.
One skid here. Real good.
Yep. Hard. Whoa.
Inside, right from the word go on this one. This one didn't have a chance.
In looking ahead to tonight's game, the winner of this
Bad, you know.
facing Stephanie Lawton of Saskatchewan in the 3-4
All
page
seven would be
playoff game.
frozen. Is back line way? No, just T-line. Just T?
I really like this
K-line,
call.
back 4.
Stone at the back of the forefoot. Ontario stone at the back of the forefoot is protecting all of these yellow stones out front, and by leaving it in play, Ontario's got themselves a big problem trying to remove any of these stones safely.
Continuing the thought about the winner here playing Saskatchewan, both teams defeated Saskatchewan in the round robin. 7-6 Ontario over Saskatchewan, 6-5 New Brunswick over Saskatchewan.
Quick. Yep. Yep. Hard fly.
Need more line.
Hard. Hard, guys. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Leave it.
7.
Leave it. Leave it. Whoa.
over curling.
Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard. Hard, guys. Hard, 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 hard.
The weight was good. That was what the weight that was called for.
I think she may have started it a little.
That is, when we took a look at this team before, Stacy Leger, her intern does move more than anybody else's. She does get it started consistently. Something that Sandy Comeau has to be aware of.
That's a lonely looking Ontario stone without last rock,
Make that double.
sitting in that cluster of 4 New Brunswick stones.
Well, the nice thing for Ontario, though, now is they can play this
Normal.
double on the top 2 stones and have their
I
own
don't
stone
know
at the
what
top
I'm
4
doing.
foot.
This.
That will be very difficult to remove for New Brunswick. Certainly things are a lot better now than they could have been.
Need to make this double, though. I agree,
do.
Mike.
Task assigned Pascal Laton.
Yep. Yeah. Quick. Hard.
She's got 1, she's got 2, and sits right there.
Really good shot. Did jam at the back of the house, though.
Okay.
That stone's not going to come into play yet, but if Sandy decides to play a big weight double at some point, it may count.
Thanks.
Shooter stays
I
right
thought it was going to jam over there,
in the
but
center.
I mean, we don't really have a
You
choice.
see the stone she initially made contact with jamming on the Ontario stone in the back of the 12.
Okay.
Might not be a factor, but you never know.
Well, now that Sandy's not playing a hit here, I don't think it will come into play. But again, another great opportunity just to freeze that's and move that back red stone maybe about an inch or so and lie 3.
7. Line's good. 7. Coming down a bit. A freeze. Yep. Yep. Line only. Yep. Hard. Yep. Hard. 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 Hard.
Look at that.
Nice shot.
The lie 3.
Good call on the weight. What? Good call on the weight.
That was plan B. The first call was for a corner freeze on the top red.
Wow.
But as the
Does seem to be
sweepers
curling
yelled
there.
down that they had a 7-8 for weight, Sandy Comeau changed the call to sweep it by the top red stone.
If this jam's here,
yeah,
we have to make sure we stick 2
Great
reds
result.
in the rings.
Yeah.
Because we may be leaving.
I think we better call timeout.
The concern is losing this back red stone. If their shooter rolls out of play,
Does this come off here?
the only stone left in the rings is going to be Ontario stone left in the rings will be this one.
Whack it like that. A
I
little
don't
bit.
think they can do better than remove
It'll-
2 of those
you know,
New
like
Brunswick
6 will take
stones.
2 with it. Okay. I don't know. What do you think?
Jen Hanna's right. I think you need to save the shooter.
Just
Very
soft
important.
nose. Firm weight.
Well, we've got to stick the shooter in, okay?
Okay.
I think.
Normal?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to get some action off that back one.
Well, stick shooter in.
Yeah.
Just looking for a nose hit. Just off nose, straight back into the pocket here.
I think she's only going to get rid of 1 yellow stone for sure.
Possibly 2.
Possibly 2, depending on
The angle.
which rock that she hits first of those 2 yellow stones along the tee line.
Yeah, especially when you have to be sure of nosing it. If you just were blasting it into the pocket, you could get rid of 2 of them easily. But
Keep it in the 8 foot, okay? Yeah.
watch
We
the
got
action
see?
on that back yellow stone, the one at the back of the 4 foot. See where it goes. It looks like it will glance off of that stone and roll out of the rings, but hard to tell when they're frozen like this all the time.
Key shot here for Jenn Hanna, playing this 6th stand, leading by 2.
Close. Whoa!
Trying to get rid of 2 of those New Brunswick rocks. And she moves them all, but doesn't get rid of 2 of them. But she did get the all-important movement of the 3 stones that were in the 4 foot.
Great shot. We talked a little
Great
bit about
shot,
this
Jen.
last night with
Good
that
job.
drag theory,
That's a
and you
little
look at
better?
these stones of the 2 yellow at the
Didn't even
back.
touch 2.
Didn't even touch that
6
stone at the
totally
back
carried
8
it.
foot. That's because they hit it on the left
my
side
eyes.
and pulled the stone
Pardon me?
away.
To my eyes.
Beautiful shot. What a fantastic shot.
So now the pressure is on New Brunswick to make the double. Get rid of these red stones, and with their shooter sitting there, brings in to play all these other ones, and Ontario better be careful.
Absolutely.
Normal. Weights up.
Wait.
Normal.
Just normal.
This is way outside.
Come off the other.
Actually on
Yep.
the outside, red.
Might
right
be the
now.
other double.
Yep. Hard.
She gets a rub off the top red onto the shot stone, but she doesn't
good,
remove
Sandy.
the red Ontario stone at
just
the
up a
back
little.
of the 8.
Just a little. We 1 and 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that works. Will you make the
Good
roll
job.
over there? Does this jam here over and sit shot over that red?
Roll right under.
No,
Roll here?
Roll in front of ours. No way.
No, you can squeeze up. I mean, I think you'll catch it.
That's fine as long as it doesn't jam.
But I
and
think we
sit
can
shot
try to
over that
roll.
one.
Okay.
Nose is good.
Okay. Kind of wait.
Control.
Okay.
Looking for the hit and roll in front of their own. The question was, if this jams, would it outcount this one over here? And they decided there was enough room, and they will be playing this hit and roll.
Like at this stage of the end, Ontario is happy to give New
Just
Brunswick an
2.
opportunity for 2.
Just 2, the happy 2.
Boy.
I think
Until the
nose.
last shot by
Okay.
Jenn Hanna, Ontario was in a lot of trouble here.
Oh, even Sandy Comeau had an opportunity there on her first one and really didn't take advantage. She did the trick and is lying too, but if she ever made that double, as you pointed out, John, there could have 4 or 5 was in the equation.
Clean. Clean. Yep. Yes. Hard.
Hanna's final stone.
Read up, clean. Good sweep. Very nice. Good.
Shot rock on the edge of the 4.
There you go. That's good. Good save. There you go. Good shot.
So now a simple shot, but very important for New Brunswick. After all those rocks and a great opportunity, you want to make this open hit for two, sorry.
Control.
Cannot afford to roll even an inch or two to the outside here.
Straight up.
Nose hit should do it.
And has that tolerance level of an inside roll into the 4-foot.
Even a slight roll to the outside would mean that the Ontario rock in the back of the 8 would be second shot. An opportunity to tie the game here in the 6th for Sandy Comeau of New Brunswick. She needs a nose hit or even a slight inside roll. She can't roll to the outside.
Good throw, Sandy.
And she rolls to the 4-foot to pick up her deuce.
Two yellow.
So with 4 ends remaining in this tiebreaker, Ontario and New Brunswick are all even at 3.
The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? You think you've seen the sun, but you ain't seen it shine. Wait till the warm-up's underway.
Wherever business takes you, Best Western is there. Best Western, the world's largest hotel chain. Now featuring free high-speed internet access at most hotels. Visit bestwestern.com for locations.
The world's best curlers are coming to Victoria. Now there are new ticket packages ranging from 2 days to 4 days and priced from just $75. Call toll-free or online at fordworldcurling.com.
This is where the world will rock, Victoria.
Hurry! 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 Come on, hurry hard! Hurry, hurry, hurry! Hurry!
Bill's family opened the store in '36. Now we're carrying on. Our customers feel free to ask questions. We've earned their trust. We're always on the go. We like it that way.
True value. Help is just around the corner.
This is Wonderland, Tuesday at 9 on CBC. Canada's top women curlers. 12 teams. 1 champion. The battle for the Scott Tournament of Hearts. Semi-final live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern on CBC Television.
We remind you that tonight, the winner of this game will face Saskatchewan in the Page 3-4 playoff game. The 1-2 game, Manitoba's Jennifer Jones against Kelly Scott of BC. You'll see it tonight beginning at 6 Eastern Time on CBC's digital channel, Country Canada. Manitoba, BC, Saskatchewan against either Ontario or New Brunswick. The loser of the Manitoba, BC game goes to the semi-final tomorrow. The winner advances to the final on Sunday.
You're all right. Right here. Right here, guys. Right here. Right here. Hurry, girls. Yep.
Gonna do the tight 3?
perfect.
Oh.
During the break, Charlie Sullivan, the coach of New Brunswick, spoke with his team, and this is what he had to say.
Yeah, you got them running scared again this end. They went up and they took those guards off as soon as it.
Yeah, possibilities.
Yeah. So let them whack away at the guards all day. Good.
2, 3, 2. Real tight. 1, 2. Bars will go. Halfway is good. Good shot. Good stuff.
Sandy Prosser continuing to have a perfect game through 6 ends. It's interesting, both players, 6 draws, 6 takeouts.
4, 5.
The first couple of ends were virtually all takeouts.
Gotta go for
Not too many.
Okay, line's coming.
Not too many draws, and now the game is tied and we're getting into the middle to late ends. There's going to be lots of come arounds and the controlling of the area in front of the forefoot. Nice shot here.
It's a good way to start for Sandy Prosser.
Oh, yeah, 2 more great shots there. That's just excellent play.
Forward. Okay. Go stuff.
Tight guard is in the free guard zone. The free guard zone still in play at this stage of the end. You've got to be careful not to chip that out of play if you're Ontario.
Hard! Hurry! Woo! Whoa!
Can they brush it by? They do.
Yep.
That's a great shot.
That was tough.
Hard to stick around.
I talked earlier about the good job of brushing the front end can do for Ontario. In this case, it was Pascal Latond working with Don Askin.
Yep. Clean. Whoa. Clean, guys. Okay.
And I spoke about this yesterday. The level of play at this Scott Tournament of Hearts right across the 12 teams is so impressive. There is no weak teams. There are no weak front ends, no brushers that aren't effective. It is just an amazing field and just speaks volumes of the quality of women's curling in this country. I'm so excited to watch these curlers develop. Only one of them can win this Scott Tournament of Hearts, but I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of these teams return to the Canadian Championships and try to win one.
Well, there is definitely a changing of the guard in women's curling with the younger teams now coming to the fore.
It sure played out this week. Many of these younger teams were not familiar to curling fans just because they hadn't been at Scott Tournament of Hearts before. But we're getting to know these faces because they make everything. It's wonderful.
Got room. Down. Good. Yep.
It's a really aggressive call here from New Brunswick. That Ontario guard is only about a foot from the rings. But Sandy Comeau continuing to apply pressure.
Hard, guys. Hard.
Great shot.
Hurry. Well, that's good.
Well, Allison Farrell through 6, the second at 90%. Sandy Prosser at 100%. Great shooting from the front end.
And that's, many people would look at that and say, well, that's not a great shot because it's not buried. That's not the point. The point is the rock is in front of the tee line and getting close to being buried, and it makes Ontario chase. And that's what New Brunswick wants right now.
Bumper, quiet. Bumper. Wow, a little more than you want. Real thin? Yep. Whoa, coming out. No roll. Stop. Sit. Whoa. Girl.
Nice soft touch there from Don Askin.
Good, Don.
Did not stick for shot stone, so another chance for New Brunswick to replace that rock.
As a team, Ontario has a slight edge over New Brunswick, 86% to 85% through 6 ends. The numbers for the front end for New Brunswick very high. Stacy Legier and Sandy Comeau, 71 and 77% respectively.
All you got, hard! Hard! Hard, guys, hard! 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 Whoa! Whoa!
He's on the guard. Don't want to bump it in the rings. Got away with it.
Top 8. Okay, like you can, eh? Let's go. Got room. 5. Room. Lot of room. Tons of room. Tons of room. Whoa, girls. 4, 5. Gotta move still.
Actually, it's deeper.
Here it comes.
6.
I got. Whoa.
It's 6, 7.
Whoa. Whoa, not too deep. Sit down. Sorry, Pascal.
And it stops in the top of the 4.
That's a pretty good shot. They could have been tighter to the guard, but the weight was wonderful.
Go wait. My fault.
Nice.
This? Okay.
Nice thing
You
for
like
Ontario
that?
here is if
It's
New
like
Brunswick
this,
does
you
hit
want
and
control.
stay in that area of where Sandy Comeau has a room, there will be a double opportunity to lie 2. That yellow stone that you see on the left side, it's very difficult to get at right now because it's half covered by that Ontario stone at the top 12 foot. So you need to be careful where this stone rolls to if you're Sandy Comeau. Almost better to roll out than to roll a foot away.
Mine's good. Oh, what's the weight? Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Will it curl enough?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hard, Sandy.
Just catching a corner of the Ontario stone to take it out of the rings. New Brunswick has the shot rock
Good shot.
sitting on the edge of the 8 foot. And again, Jenn Hanna is looking to bury one behind those 2 rocks sitting in front of the rings.
Tons of room. Tons of room. Don't jump. Yep. A little less. 5. Hard line. It's good line only. Yeah, line. Quick. Hurry. Hard. Room. 7. Room.
It's 8, 9. Probably through, actually.
They had to brush that to keep it away from the 2 guards.
Okay.
And as a result, it slides too deep.
Sweepers were yelling 6, 7 most of the time, so you know you're listening.
10 less?
As a
That's
skip,
what it
you're
looked
thinking
like.
okay, the weight's
Okay.
pretty good, just keep sweeping it, but it actually was heavier than they had anticipated. Once it got by the guard, realized it was
Let's
going to
do it,
slide
Sandy.
too deep. Needed to get shot stone there. Even if they'd rubbed the guard and rolled into the 8 foot, would have been fine.
Sorry, bud.
So now Sandy Comeau has a chance to be the first behind cover.
Let's go, Sandy.
Again, need to be careful not to set up the double here.
Doesn't look like quite enough ice, does it?
As you said, Mike, want to come right into the
I can
4 foot
take a little
area.
more if you
As
want.
tight to the
Just a
guard as
shade more.
possible.
Whoa.
It is hard to place this stone, as you said. If they leave this high, there'd be a double, and Ontario would lie 3. If they come deep behind the T line, obviously Ontario will freeze to it and set up for 2. So only a couple feet is a good spot for this New Brunswick stone.
Heavy. Yep. Heavy. 8. Whoa. No line. 9. No line. No line.
Well, they're shouting 8 and 9, and it
Whoa,
means this
whoa,
stone
whoa.
is heavier than the one that
Whoa.
was just thrown by Pascal
Take it way back
Latond,
if it's way
they're
back.
accurate.
This is way outside. Look how far they missed the guard. Missed the guard by
Yep.
good 2 feet.
Yep. Right back. Yep. Hard, guys. Way back. Way back. Okay.
The only good news is there is
Heavy.
no real tough double, but I don't think we'll see Ontario play it. They're going to
No.
play a little backline tap and roll here.
Well, it's all right.
With sweeping, right?
Jen Hanna has
think you got
basically been playing takeouts through the first 6, only
Make
1
the
drop.
under. Well, she probably caps it with a guard, right? Yeah. And then it's really hard to get in there. Board.
So you heard Jenn Hanna talk about drawing instead of taking this rock out, and as she said, though, Yeah, but even if I make shot stone, she's going to guard up, and I don't have a chance to get my 2 points because of the high guard on the left-hand side. So she's going to hit this rock, hit and roll, force New Brunswick to draw, and try to hold Ontario just to 1 point or steal.
Yeah, the good thing for New Brunswick, this stone will be at the back of the button, and if they could ever make a nice freeze in there, have a great chance to steal, actually.
Board, clean, close. Just clean. Whoa. Whoa, got a curl.
It's a nice board.
Got a curl. Yep. I don't know.
No. Yeah, it's come down to tack.
No.
There is no inside roll.
Good. Good, Jen.
But pushed cleanly through by Jenn Hanna to lie shot. But now an inside roll possibility for Sandy Comeau.
Let's go. Good throw.
Sandy noses this. There may be a double available to Ontario.
Just about a hack weight. It's great weight.
Nose hit right here. May leave
Just control. Oh, no.
a double off this outside yellow
You need a roll here. Yep.
for 3 points.
It'll run fairly straight. It'll just come up.
The call is for a hit and roll away from that into the center line area and behind the guards.
And if she does get the roll, it'll be very difficult for Hanna to score.
Oh yeah, she can roll right to the back of the button and be no access to that stone. These guards out front are staggered. There's no raise available.
Control. Close. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Yes. Whoa. 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 Close. Close. Stay close. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
It has to curl a little more to get a roll.
It's close.
Okay. Okay, Sandy.
This wouldn't come up for me. Yeah.
Now in a 3-3 tie, do you try the double?
It's risky because if you ever clip your own on the way by, you would give up a steal at 2. It's there. It's definitely there.
Take one.
This stone is causing
I don't mind
makes
it.
a double tough.
It's up to you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. No, that's fine.
Take a time out and talk about this.
Yeah.
They're going to call Bob Hanna, the coach, onto the playing surface to discuss the shot. In a 3-3 tie, playing 7, a steal to 2 could be critical.
Well, I think Hanna needs
like
to
the
come
double.
out and look at the front to see how
Don
much
and I like the double.
of this side stone they can see. It's quite thin.
They have to just miss the red one to make the shot.
It's
I'm
too
comfortable
difficult.
with either or.
I don't know why he's coming down here. I know what he's going to tell me.
Well, that's why we called it.
I like the double.
Jen thinks her father's going to say, take
Okay,
one.
Bob, tell us.
It's your feel.
Even if we make sure we order one and we give one, we still get hammered back. 3 ends to go.
You guys agree on it. Do whatever you think is right.
Whatever you feel more comfortable with.
Let's play it. I love it.
Well, I disagree with Steph, though. Let's play it because we only give up 1. As you said, Mike,
You might give up 2.
You might give up 2.
Well, they said I think they're talking about missing it on the high side and just hitting it too thinly. I think this is a very makeable shot, but there's a good look at it. You need to hit almost everything you can see of this stone, but huge shot here for Team Ontario. Huge shot for Team New Brunswick too, for that matter. 3 points here, going 3-point lead into 8 is just a huge advantage. But also up 1 is nice too. You know, it's a big risk.
My vote would have been to take the 1 point. I think there's too much risk here, and it's a hard shot.
I like it. I like the double.
Well, Jen thought that Bob was going to say, take the point. He surprised her.
Well, as a coach, I think he did the right thing and let the players, you know, it gets into this thing. It becomes instinct, and you don't want to come out and change your team's mind when this is a tough decision. But the team all agreed, so let's play it.
The possibility of 3 for Jenn Hanna if she makes this triple. Remember what Kathy King said about the game this morning. Jenn Hanna made triples, she made run back, she made everything. She was a one-man wrecking crew. Will that continue? Will she get the yellow onto the other yellow? 1, 2, there they are.
Wow. What a great shot.
And a sigh of relief by Jenn Hanna with another incredible shot here on 7. As she gets 3 and leads by 3 with 3 ends remaining.
This is the wave of the future. Jenn Hanna is a shot maker.
Thunder. 120 decibels. Highway traffic. 70 decibels. Highway traffic inside a luxury sedan. 64 decibels. Inside the Ford F-150. 63. We keep thinking about tough because we want you to drive a Ford.
Come try your first end.
I wasn't sure, but I tried it.
Your very first end.
We tried it.
You should try it.
Now we do it together.
Get out.
Go curling.
It's so much fun!
Meet between the sheets. Be part of a tradition.
Be part of a team.
You don't know what you're missing.
You never forget your first end.
Your very first end.
Come play.
Discover curling.
See you on the ice.
See you on the ice.
See you on the ice.
Get up, get light, and go curling!
Hey, so what do you want to do for lunch? Thinking soup. Or sandwich? Sandwich, that's good.
No. That's not enough. You boys must have proper lunch. Hearty soup and sandwich together. That's proper lunch. Okay?
It's the complete lunch that satisfies.
So, soup and sandwich at Tim's? Sounds good.
Tim Hortons ham and Swiss sandwich on a toasted bun. And our new creamy field mushroom soup in a combo, just $6.49.
The Scott Tournament of Hearts is coming to London's John Labatt Centre next February, and full event passes are on sale now. For the best seats in the house, you can call toll-free or order online. Come join us in the Forest City.
Great. Going for gold. What a rush it brings. There's nothing else in curling like the roar.
The roar you hear is 20 of Canada's top women's and men's teams competing for the right to represent us in Italy in 2006. And no city in Canada roars more than Halifax.
My name was stolen from me. It's a very common name, but it's evil.
Intimate portraits of what life is like for 6 Canadian Arabic men sharing the name Osama. Monday at 9 on CBC News, The Passionate Eye.
A couple of familiar faces watching this tiebreaker. Do you think they're talking curling or hockey?
Copy.
Curling.
5-6.
Colleen Jones and Hockey Night in Canada's Bob Cole.
Easy.
The media center at Mile 1 Stadium, named after him. And I'm sure both were marveling at the shot just executed by Jenn Hanna to score 3.
Stop.
Let's take another look at it.
When you take a risk, sometimes there's a great reward, and this is a big chance taken by Ontario, and it pays off huge.
And you wonder when is she going to run out of shots, because she keeps making them over and over again. The other skips in this tournament talking about, well, what was I going to do, because I came up against a skip from Ontario that made everything. And it just such an impressive shot maker. A good process too that they went through to commit to that shot as a team.
Well, Jen's father, Bob, fooled her. She said, I don't know why he's coming out here. He's just going to tell me to take one. Well, he gave them the option. But, Mike, you have an interesting story. Bob Hanna and his role at the Ontario Championship.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier in the week, I accused Carl against Bob quite a bit. So I asked him, I said, what's your role with Jenn and the team? He goes, well, mostly I sit behind the glass and worry. He said, but, occasionally they'll come out and ask me for advice. And I thought he did a great job there of kind of laying off and just said, you know what, you guys go with your instinct. And it was a team decision. They had to all agreed to the shot because it was a huge risk to take, and taking a 1-point advantage into 8 would have been a good thing. But you know, you'd hate to give up a steal of 2. But I thought again, the thought process was excellent from Team Ontario, and they all decided as a team to play the shot. And sometimes there are team decisions to be made, and that was one of them.
A very strong personality in Jenn Hanna. We watched her earlier again against Saskatchewan, where they took a timeout late in the game, and
before her final shot,
and her dad started coming out, and she turned and she said, "Bob, I don't need you. I just want the time to put the broom down." And there's not a lot of people that call their fathers by their first name. I just think it shows that she knows what she wants to do. She knows what she's doing, and that's just part of the charm of this young Ontario team.
Well, there are several fathers who are in the role of coaches here. Bob Miller of Saskatchewan, Fred Cooey of the Territories, Larry Jones of Manitoba,
Randy Olson of Alberta. Again, it was part of the theme that we were building all week on why do we have so many former junior women's champions in this Scott Tournament of Hearts, and it has to do with sticking with the game for a long time, and also excellent coaching, commitment to having a coach that sticks with the team over a number of years, and that kind of development that comes with the advice from a coach. It is the wave of the future, I think, Mike, and I think it used to come with that our junior teams all had coaches, then slowly now all our women's teams have coaches, and finally it's filtering into the men's scene. That the good teams will have coaches, and it's, again, coming up from the younger teams up.
Yep, hard! Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, Al.
It just goes back to a lot of these teams have never known it any other way. They've always had a coach their entire life, where, you know, when you and I started curling, you didn't have coaching until you got to there was people who taught you how to play, but in terms of an actual coach with that followed your team around, very rarely did that ever happen.
And we didn't have respect for coaches. I will be the first to admit I proclaim to be, self-proclaimed uncoachable, saying I'm not going to listen to anybody.
Self-proclaimed. Don and I have been saying that for years.
But things have changed. You have to open your mind to how you can improve, and there are some great people out there that have taken their levels of coaching as well, have a lot of years of experience that are committing their time to these teams and making them better. It's well worth your time to invest in a coach.
Okay, that's good.
Ontario line 3. There's a corner guard to the left of the center line. As you look at it on the right side from the home end, it's on the left, of course. And Sandy Comeau is attempting to draw behind the corner guard.
Well, we had a slight mistake there from Team Ontario. Dawn Askin, she chipped her own stone off the forefoot, and now New Brunswick can get around this guard and get shot stone.
Room. Yep. Roll for bye. Whoa.
Great line here.
New Brunswick does not have to get this 3 back all at once. They do need to get 2 here in the 8 man. They need to count to have any chance at all at coming back in this game.
Great come around there.
Normal.
Well, Mike, I'm reminded that you had a coach in Nagano, a fellow by the name of Paul Savage. He often described skips as uncoachable. And as a longtime skip himself, he'd know.
Oh, yeah. Well said. Paul's role with us certainly wasn't as active, let's say, as some of the. Well, he was busy, but he wasn't coming out on the ice and talking to us. But Paul was a great mentor, though, and we went through the Olympic trials. I mean, he'd been through Briars and a Briar win with Ed Wernick, and you know what? I talked to him quite a bit myself, and I said, you know what? I'm not feeling this good about this game, and he goes, you know what? That's how I felt, and that was comforting, and he actually helped out quite a bit on the mental side of the game, you know, pre-game jitters, that sort of thing, and you know, made us feel like, you know what, it's going to be okay, and he actually did help us quite a lot.
I think that's exactly what we have to talk about, and that is coaches can play different roles. On some teams, it's as a technician to fix the way you throw. On other teams, like Colleen Jones, their coach is a sports psychologist. It depends on what your team needs at that point in their development as to what the role is for that extra person. I know that there was a couple of years we needed a manager. We needed somebody to give us time management skills and handle all the extra distractions. Every team at a certain point in time can have a resource added to their repertoire.
That's fine.
Attempting to protect the shot stone. And Jenn Hanna has decided, rather than make any pass at the shot rock, she'll run the guard.
At some point, Jen's going to have to either play the freeze here or Sandy Comeau's going to have to come into the rings. It's a bit of a guessing game which one's going to happen first. And now we're down to Weiss's last rocks. I think you might see Sandy come into the house, but you never know. She might throw up one more guard. And if she does, I wouldn't be surprised to see Jenn Hanna come after it. Come after the stone in the forfeit, that is.
Depending on where that guard is, Mike.
Yep. Hard. That's good.
Mike used the term vice, mate, and third. Other references, depending on what part of the country you live in, to the person who throws stones before the skip.
Shot.
And how well they're playing. And sometimes they refer to them as other things, but.
So as you said, Mike, New Brunswick now coming into the ranks. This is their big chance to set up their two right here with this shot by Stacy.
Been a very well played end by New Brunswick here. They've took advantage of the corner guard. And they have an opportunity here late in the end to get two. This is curling.
Well, this is Stacy's in turn again, which sometimes she has a very soft release and it'll curl more than her teammates.
She is on the top red. So there could be the opportunity squandered here. In 8.
Yeah. That would have been great. Wait. Yeah. I get that started.
I think if you're Jenn Hanna, you'd like to stay right there in the forefooted area and not allow any freeze opportunities to New Brunswick on any of those stones at the back 12 or even a come around. Same path they just took would be available, but.
Okay, let's go.
It looks like Sandy Comeau's going to have a shot against a few stones here in our last one in 8.
A comfortable spot for Ontario. Yeah, this is the same spot that we pointed out before. It's very straight, not a lot of curl, but also this is a spot where Jenn Hanna has been wide, just a little bit full in the broom, and it will not move up.
I think she mentioned to your team they were looking to roll out here too.
Yep. Clean. Whoa. Clean. Yep.
The one place they don't want to roll is behind those stones at the top 12 foot.
Clean.
But they were just peeling it out.
That's all right.
Mission accomplished for Jenn Hanna. She lies 3.
Thanks. Good job. Good shot. Thanks.
Nice shot.
So this is Sandy Comeau's only chance to get 2, and that is to get one in behind those 2 stones, try to hide.
The reason I like staying in the forefooted there is if Sandy does make a pretty good freeze here, and Jenn Hanna is forced to play a raise on these top 2 stones, you hate raising your opponent's stones possibly into play, but anyway, good opportunity here. They need to try to get the stone to the back of the 8 foot, maybe half buried. It will finish. We just saw the previous stone over curl, so you know it'll get going in there if you can read the ice correctly.
Sandy Comeau was just talking to her front end about maybe there's a little bit of frost way out here with this draw late in the end. Frost hasn't really been a factor here at Mile 1 Stadium.
Well, weights up. Heavy.
No. Yep.
Heavy.
Yep. Let's stay on this one. It's coming down. Where are we?
9.
This is definitely by the guard. Trying to get the rub here.
That's what they were attempting with that frantic last-minute brushing, but they don't make contact.
Just a little, yeah.
The attempt to draw was way too heavy. And now Sandy Comeau is going to be under the gun when she throws her final stone.
She'll throw that draw again probably, but that's okay.
So now Hanna wants to block the easiest path to a point, and
So we're looking probably at around maybe.
wants to come right into this top area here to force Sandy Comeau to this same draw to get her point. Whenever you have to go out wide to draw,
85-90 is good.
that's always a more difficult path to take. So let's block up that middle. Now the only way that she makes this easy for Sandy Comeau is by bringing it into the forefoot, so that it'll be a wide open hit for the 1 point. So if she's going to err, she needs to be short.
Yeah, you know, the thing is about this shot, the best she's going to do, though, is be top 12 foot. I would be tempted to try to maybe sneak partly under that stone at the top 8 foot. If the line's good, if it's short, just let it stop. But there's no effort here to, again, put any more pressure. I'm just going to let her draw the 8 foot. I think it's going to leave a very easy shot for Sandy Comeau.
Up here.
I like this call, Mike.
Well, I mean, she just draw the 8 foot. That's the only problem.
It's good by 4. That's fine. No, it's not. Sit down.
Needs to sit.
That's good. Good job, Jen. Nice sweep.
Actually stopped in a great spot. She can't nose hit that stone and out count the side one.
Nice sweep. Yeah.
About as deep as she could have thrown that.
Let's go.
So now Sandy Comeau is going to draw through the middle. She can come off of the rock that Hanna just put there.
That's
she
tough.
can use it to her advantage because it did come in that far.
It's tough, though, boy.
Isn't that the tougher draw?
Yeah.
Well, that rock is there to be used as well. She can rub off of that red stone.
But boy, oh boy, that's dangerous. I mean, as I think the intern that you indicated on their first one, certainly there's a lot of room in here to get to the same spot, and you just threw it. I mean, this is tough because this is line and weight, and it's tough. It's tough. I'm a little surprised she's going through the port. But
Sandy
as you
Comeau.
said, there is the opportunity to rub, but
trailing by
hate
3.
to rely on that.
With her final stone of the 8th end, facing 4 Ontario stones.
Wait! Right off! Right off!
This is way out there.
No line, no line! No line!
It has to start moving now.
It's starting to come,
No
but
line.
still needs to curl.
Is she going to tap the red back? It looks as though she will, and she might give up a steal of 2.
That was a tough shot.
1 for sure for Ontario. They'll probably measure. It looks like 2 Ontario stones.
That's very close. We knew that she couldn't hit it and get shot, and she did get a little inside, so
No,
it may be closer than it looks, but
I agree with you, Don. I think it looks like 2.
Well, Leger, I think was
it's
ready to
2, but-
concede,
Measure.
but you hear
Measure,
Sandy
whatever.
Comeau
So one
saying,
thing- yeah, okay,
measure.
sure.
well, it's life or death game. You may as well measure
Pretty
it.
sure,
I mean,
but-
Leger took a look and said she was pretty sure, but a measurement will provide confirmation. It is 1 point for sure. And
in case
with
my eyes are making tricks.
2 ends remaining, will Ontario be leading this tiebreaker by 4 or 5 points? The big shot, the double on the 7th by Hanna to get 3. Watch the needle and see how far it moves.
This is 2 pretty definitely. Yeah.
Very definitely 2.
2.
Huge steal for Hanna of Ontario. 3 on 7, a steal of 2 on 8, and a 5-point advantage with 2 ends remaining.
Purex Ultra, our thickest, softest Purex ever.
The Strauss Canada Cup of Curling in Kamloops is all about one thing: gold. Teams who have not yet qualified for the Canadian Curling Trials this December in Halifax will be going hard for one of the few remaining spots. Those teams which already own one of those coveted berths will want to have a say in who does or doesn't get one. Could be one of the most interesting events of the year. Got your tickets yet?
2 keys.
Hey, thanks. Cheers.
Give him to me! Give him to me! Oh, I think you've sprained his neck! Alexander Keith labored on this pier since 1820, and you plonk it on the head like it's a piñata! It's the pride of Nova Scotia. Give it the respect it deserves. Now, grab that there napkin, make a wee neck brace. No, Nancy, you've done enough for one night. Wrap it around. Not a hat! A neck brace, Jimmy! Is it so difficult? It's not a fashion show, it's an emergency!
Hurry! 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 Come on, hurry hard! Hurry, hurry, hurry! Hurry!
Saturday night.
Our objective is to win the war.
Going behind enemy lines.
Drop him now!
To find one last survivor.
I can't leave and gather your gear.
Saving Private Ryan. Part of CBC's Movie Night in Canada. Saturday.
The chamber is said to be the home of a monster.
Scared Potter.
You wish. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Sunday, March 6th on CBC.
Well, tonight on CBC Country Canada, beginning at 6 Eastern Time, it will be Saskatchewan in the Page 3-4 playoff game against either Ontario or New Brunswick. And right now it's looking very much as though Ontario will be playing Saskatchewan in the 1-2 game. Jennifer Jones of Manitoba against Kelly Scott of British Columbia. The winner advances to the final on Sunday. The loser goes to the semifinal against the winner of the Page 3-4 game tomorrow afternoon. Well, Sandy Comeau, even though she's down, is still smiling and reacting. She's had a lot of fun this week. She's enjoyed herself, and why not? She's made some great shots. She's come from behind. She had the big shot against Colleen Jones to end the reign of the 4 consecutive Team Canada champions.
Yeah, she's had a great week, and I think she came in as, we had a couple of great stories this week. The territories were won, and this New Brunswick team that come from behind kids, and they've done a great job. And you see Colleen Jones there with Bob Cole. I mean, it was just such a deep field this year. It was so impressive to watch all these young teams, and 4 of the youngest are on top. If Jenn Hanna is able to pull this game out, I mean, the 4 teams that have won had success in the juniors and moved right into women's curling without missing a step.
And once you came out to the Scott Tournament of Hearts here at mile 1, you got hooked, and I think that's what happened with Bob Cole.
That's good, Sandy.
Came out,
Good
and
shot.
the curling was so great. You did not know who was going to beat who at any given point in time, whether they were up in the game, they're coming back. It was so entertaining, and people are coming back into this stadium for the final weekend. It's going to be a great showdown.
Well, 3 former junior champions, Jennifer Jones, Kelly Scott, and Stephanie Lawton, are in the playoffs. It looks as though they're going to be joined by a young woman who was runner-up for a Canadian junior championship. So as we said earlier, it's a changing of the guard in Canadian women's curling.
Might be in. We're in. 5. Straight come
Line's
around.
really
Line's
good.
tight.
Come around.
Yep. Yep.
Line's good for
And I
Barry.
guess I should be more sad about that statement.
Room.
But it's so funny because we've been talking about this all week. I'm
Sandy.
so proud of the women that played in this year's Scott Tournament of Hearts, because it's frightening for teams like mine that have been around for a while and have experienced lots of success and not been challenged to have such depth out there of great players coming up. I am scared of playing in the Canada Cup coming up in a little couple of weeks because we'll be challenged again.
That was a fortunate break there for Ontario. That was a peel attempt, and they ended up running it back and making the double.
You mentioned the Canada Cup, March 15th through the 20th in Kamloops. Colleen Jones will be there. Your team, Jan Betker, the skip, Cheryl Bernard of Calgary, Shannon Kleibrink of Calgary, Marie-France LaRouche from Quebec,
Whoa for 9.
Anne
No line.
Merklinger, Joanne Rizzo from Ontario, Kelly Scott
Line's
from British
good.
Columbia,
Yep.
second place in the round robin
Hard,
standings.
guys, hard.
Heather Smith-Dacey of Halifax, a former Canadian junior champion.
As deep as you can. That's good.
And Michelle Englot of Saskatchewan, who also has 2 very young players on her team, the McIver sisters that have played in several juniors as well.
One's good, Don. Yeah.
So we do have some young players in that field mixed with some of the veterans that have been around as well. Gonna have to cheer for the veterans in that one.
Get up. Whoa.
Yeah, and the importance of that Canada Cup is not only its cash bill, but it will be the final Olympic trial spot will be determined at that event as well. So big event.
Nice try. Good job, man.
And I said earlier that while Colleen Jones was unsuccessful in attempting to defend the Scot, she will be in the Olympic trials December 3rd to the 11th at the Halifax Metro Center, along with these women. And one of the big prizes here at the Scot, in addition to winning the Canadian Championship, is a berth in the Olympic trials. So if, for example, this evening, Jennifer Jones were to advance to the final, defeat Kelly Scott, that would mean she would have a pretty good shot at getting one of those Olympic trial spots. The team that wins Lawton, or if it is Jen Hanna, also has a shot. Kelly Scott already has a position in the Olympic trials.
That's right. So even if Kelly Scott wins this event, the next highest placing team will get that trials berth.
Curl. Flip. Okay. It's all right.
Just a little rub.
Couple of mistakes here this end from Ontario. Need to be a little careful here. That was bad miss, and the reason being is she could have just rubbed on the guard there and peeled the guard out without any damage being done. That miss brings a three points into play here. If New Brunswick can make the come around and Ontario's unsuccessful in either running it back or making a double, chance for 3 here for Team New Brunswick.
Yours did this and started fudging a bit. Yep, hard for line. Hers are just cutting.
This seems to be moving too much.
Whoa.
They're going to rub the guard.
Take this one, Sandy. Yep.
And another one of Stacy's interns that overcurled. I'm going to suggest that Sandy Comeau needs to take a look at opening up the ice, giving Stacy more ice than the rest of the team because of the very soft release she has on her interns. Gets them going just a little bit out of her hand.
And now that they missed the come round, it should be back to only a potential 2-ender here for New Brunswick, because that stone will be open here in a moment if Pascal's successful in peeling this guard. This is curling too, though.
Hurry! Whoa.
She gets a nose hit on the stone in the rings.
Okay, back to the 3 again.
Back to the 3. That's 3 misses in a row from Team Ontario. They're really lucky to not be in worse trouble here, but still, you're up 5. You don't want to just let them back in the game and give up 3 here.
And we all know about the stealing history of this Sandy Comeau rink.
Oh, and I think Ontario is aware of it too. It's not just us. I mean, that sort of stuff gets around at a Scott Tournament of Hearts, and you just keep seeing how they stick.
Yep.
They're sticking in the game and never give up.
Gotta go for weight. Hard. Hard. Got room. Gotta go. 5. Hard. 3 guys. Hard. 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 Hurry. Hard. 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 Yep. That's good.
No line on that rock.
This is what Sandy Comeau and her New Brunswick team have done. Larceny here at the Scott.
It just, I've never seen it before. 5 games that they won with big steals in the last 2 ends.
Well, including the final round robin game, Newfoundland had Sandy Comeau in a lot of trouble in the 10th end, and she made a nice double tap to secure a steal and a win to make the playoffs.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah, yours are just going touchy.
Because that stone's open, I think Ontario would love to nose hit this and cut off that in-turn draw. Hit it first, though, is the key here with a big lead.
Control. Whoa. Clean it. Whoa. Clean. Not a piece. Clean. Clean. Roll it out. Yep, roll it out. We're rolling. Okay.
Contact and the roll. New Brunswick lies 1.
Still a chance for 3 if Sandy Coleman could get this stone buried. Have
Nice shot.
2 under cover. If it does get buried, you may see Jenn Hanna play a run back on her own red stone. Not may. You will see her play a run back on her red stone.
Yeah, if the line is there, she'll be forced to play her own.
3 members of this New Brunswick team live in St. John, New Brunswick. Sandy Comeau lives in Moncton, so she commutes every Tuesday to curl with the other 3.
Pretty good. Line's good. Lot of room. 75. Lot of room. Lot of room. We can wait. We can wait. Whoa. Whoa. Lot of room. Whoa.
This is way outside.
Gonna bring it right back. That's when it's coming. Way back, guys. Yeah. Way back, way back, way back. Sandy.
It's wide open on the edge of the 4.
That rock is just straighter than any others, I think. That rock is just dead straight. Yeah.
That stone is so open. There really is very little risk now with that guard. The center guard is so far out of play now. That a good opportunity here for Ontario to get the roll underneath and put this game away.
Let's make this. We'll hold it for you.
Well, I think Jenn Hanna realizes she's somewhat fortunate on this end with the misses she had earlier from her team, that she is in position to maybe even steal or at worst give up 2.
Wait. Just clean. Whoa, just clean all the way.
Not going to get the inside roll here. Nose hit.
Nice shot.
Second shot.
Good girl.
We heard Sandy Comeau come back and talk to Stacy Leger about thinking that her first rock is straighter.
Okay, let's be sharp.
And that is the part of the game that has come to the front in the last 5 years is rock matching, and teams paying attention to those little differences between your rocks, your pair that you have, as well as the other pairs on your team. And it's not uncommon that you would find one in your set of 8 that may react differently than everybody else's. And the game is how soon you figure that out in the game and how you use it to your advantage.
Last rock at the 9th end for Sandy Comeau, trailing by 5, an opportunity to pick up 2.
Never.
This stone has to curl a little if she's going to save it.
Never.
Doesn't look like it.
Sit.
Oh,
Sit.
just.
It is going to sit just in time.
Good throw, Sandy.
So Sandy Comeau and her New Brunswick teammates pick up a pair on the 9th. They trail by 3 heading home, and they don't have last rock.
Too yellow, yes.
In some families, the skill of the game is passed down from generation to generation. Strauss Heart Drops, an herbal dietary supplement based on 8 generations of herbal knowledge. Our largest Heart Drop sale of the year is on now at a health food store near you.
That's great.
The roar you hear is 20 of Canada's top women's and men's teams competing for the right to represent us in Italy in 2006. And no city in Canada roars more than Halifax.
The Strauss Herb Company manufactures a full line of herbal dietary supplements based on traditional European recipes. Our biggest Strauss Heart Drop sale of the year is on now at a health food store near you.
Tim Hortons Briar rolls into Regina next March, but only 2006 full event passes are on sale at the Agrodome box office. And when they're gone, they're gone. On February 24th, you can purchase in person, by phone, or online. So remember, February 24th, 10 a.m.
The new Ford 500. We thought about space safety architecture to give you more protection. We thought about command seating to give you a better view of the road. We thought about all-wheel drive for more control. We thought about all these things so you'll have less to think about. The new Ford 500. We keep thinking about what a sedan should be because we want you to drive a Ford.
Canada's top women curlers. 12 teams. 1 champion. The battle for the Scott Tournament of Hearts. Semi-final live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern on CBC Television.
I'd stab him.
I'd poison him. I'd shoot him.
Miss Marple returns with all new mysteries that will keep you guessing.
How clever.
Until the very end.
How wicked.
4:50 from Paddington. Sunday at 8 on CBC.
When Canadians want to know the whole story, they turn to CBC News, bringing you the Canadian perspective. The source Canadians trust. CBC News, The National, with Peter Mansbridge, weeknights at 10.
Well, that woman will be cheering tonight for Kelly Scott and her British Columbia team as they take on Jennifer Jones of Manitoba in the Page 1-2 playoff game. It looks very much as though Hanna of Ontario will be facing Stephanie Lawton of Saskatchewan in the 3-4 game, but as we pointed out, Sandy Comeau and her team from New Brunswick have stolen points on the 10th end in previous wins, but they have a huge assignment here. 3 points they must steal just to tie.
And that's not a good start when you need to steal points, throwing your first guard into the ring. So
roll out, I think.
no, I think yeah, if we were talking about any other team other than Sandy Comeau, I think we would say this game is well in hand for Ontario. But you know, 3-point lead with the hammer, and then again, you can just go back to that 7th end, that decision that the team made just turned the momentum. It looked like New Brunswick they just got 2 points to tie the game, and were lying 2, and big reward for the risk taken by Team Ontario, and they haven't looked back since.
And then a call that you considered a little questionable on the 8th when she attempted to come through the port rather than trying to play the same shot she did with her first stone.
Yeah, I think I mean, hindsight, it's easy to say that it was a bad call, but I think even if they had only they had scored their 1 point, certainly Ontario would have the control point was gained in 7. But yeah, I didn't particularly like it, but
I didn't.
Joan
think
did.
I didn't think it was the call. I thought it was the make. You have to make that. Even if she went wide to her draw, back out into the frost, she still had to make it. Yeah. And I didn't mind the call. She felt confident of the ice.
You know, we've talked about this before. There's a lot of options. There's always a lot of options, and there's never a bad call if you make the shot you want to play. So,
Take red out. Take red out.
Attempting a tick shot.
Well done.
Sit down. Atta girl. Whoa, beauty.
Oh, that's great.
Perfect shot.
Great sweep.
That's a great shot. Again, one of the new shots that teams practice and make regularly is the tick shot, moving that guard off the center line area. And they don't really care where the rock ends up, just get it away from a 4-foot path.
2.
That's right. Even if you bump that stone into the side of the 8-foot, you know, a top competitive team, you're thinking, I can just still draw the 4 if I can outcount that one. So even if it gets bumped into the rings, it's not a big deal at this stage of the game. Keep the center line open, and you always have a shot to score late in the game, even if you may have to draw against 2, but that's okay. You have to be able to make those shots at this level.
But now the stone can be removed. And Jenn Hanna is asking for it to be peeled by Dawn Askin.
And this is where they got a little sloppy last end. Dawn had missed her peel, and so did Pascal. And I'm sure they're going to make good on them this end.
Good. Good shot.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Another one, Al.
Okay. Nine? Well, what?
Mike's. No, it's coming down. Might be 4.
I just wanted it up here, anywhere up here.
5.
No, we're T-line.
I think it would be fair to say that New Brunswick has exceeded their expectations by making it through the round robin and into these playoffs. And another great shot.
New Brunswick rapidly running out of stones on this 10th end. Sandy Comeau realizes that she needs wide open misses from Ontario that aren't likely to occur.
No, she needs more than one. Yeah, she needs probably 2 or 3 at this stage of the game.
Just over, that's good.
Especially when they said they weren't able to take advantage of the free guard zone starting the end. So.
Whoa, that's good. Just cleaning. Yep. Okay.
We often talk about attitude and how much that affects your shot making, and I really think that's why Sandy Comeau's team is here. They never ever got upset about being down in games, and then took advantage of when the door was open late in games to steal and win. It's a wonderful attitude from Sandy Comeau and her teammates from New Brunswick.
Yep. Hard. Stop right out.
They have the double. They do.
Nice.
And that eliminates any possibility of that rock sitting on the corner of the 12 being a factor if there had been misses by Ontario.
Let's go, Stace. Stick one in there.
Now they have to put all 3 remaining stones in the rings and have them count, or this game is over.
I think they're here. We're gonna go.
And I think it's safe to say it is over.
It's one rock away from being over, one hit
Lots of room. Lots of room. Lots
from
of
Team
room.
Ontario.
Yep.
Right back.
Yep.
Well, as you mentioned, this is it's been a great week for Sandy Comeau and her team, and they've been a great story. But I think the youth movement is the story now with the 4 remaining skips, all with great junior records.
and great percentages this week. What an evenly matched group we have moving into the Page playoff system.
Whoa, firm control.
24-year-old
Clean.
Pascal Latande with an opportunity to put an end to this tiebreaker.
Stop.
And Ontario will advance to the 3-4 playoff game against Stephanie Lawton of Saskatchewan.
Way to go, girls. Way to go. Played awesome. Everybody back.
So the 1994 champion, the 95 champion, the 2000 champion, and the 1998 runner-up are the survivors. After a week of round-robin play, tiebreakers here at the Scott, with the semi-final tomorrow, the final on Sunday, but the 1, 2, 3, 4 Page games tonight.
Everyone at the House of Commons, hi.
Back pain. It can affect more than your back. Robax Platinum, a special combination of 2 active ingredients, one to relieve back pain, the other to relax tense back muscles. Robax Platinum, helping you walk away from back pain.
They say football is a game of inches. I wish we had inches.
The Scott Tournament of Hearts, proud sponsor of women's curling for 24 years.
Up here, just about everything seems larger than life. The prairie, the sky, even our animals. And when someone comes by our true value with a problem, large or small, they know they've come to the right place.
True Value, official hardware supplier to Championship Curling.
The Canadian Curling Association appreciates, understands, and wishes to acknowledge the importance of local sponsorship to curling teams across Canada throughout the curling season. In an effort to recognize local corporate support of teams which have achieved the privilege of representing their province or territory at a Canadian Curling Championship, we are pleased to provide some deserving profile to their respective corporate supporters.
I'm Judy Madron. This is World Report.
Wasted little time setting the Iraqi police officers.
CBC News has learned officers pretended to get tips.
Must be involved when it comes to this.
Oil prices will remain high. His reputation has been damaged by his.
Margaret Evans, CBC News, Jerusalem,
Whitehorse,
London,
Iowa,
Toronto,
Ottawa,
Moscow.
World Report, weekday mornings at 6, 7, and 8 on CBC Radio 1.
Well, the turning point of this game, very definitely the 7th end. She could have drawn for 1. She opted for the risky shot and got the big reward. A double for Jenn Hanna and a score of 3. And at that point, totally in control, leading by a score of 6-3 over Sandy Comeau of New Brunswick, and a steal of 2 more in the 8th put it away for Ontario.
You wanna rock your world? There's only one way. It starts by getting tickets to the Fort World Men's today.
The world's best curlers are coming to Victoria. Now there are new ticket packages ranging from 2 days to 4 days and priced from just $75. Call toll-free or online at fordworldcurling.com.
This is where the world will rock Victoria. The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? You think you've seen the sun, but you ain't seen it shine. Wait till the warm-up's underway.
Wherever business takes you, Best Western is there. Best Western, the world's largest hotel chain. Now featuring free high-speed internet access at most hotels. Visit bestwestern.com for locations.
Curling. With every game played, your contact to the world expands. With over 1 million participants utilizing 1,100 clubs across the country, curling is an entertaining, social way to stay active. Play for fun, play to win, or just come out and enjoy the membership benefits. Clubs can be assisted by the Canadian Curling Association's Development Fund, which serves to promote, renovate, and offer advice on operations. Get involved. Join a club near you today. It has lifetime value.
Hey, so what do you want to do for lunch?
Thinking soup.
Or sandwich?
Sandwich, that's good.
No. That's not enough. You boys must have proper lunch. Hearty soup and sandwich together. That's proper lunch. Okay?
It's the complete lunch that satisfies.
So, soup and sandwich at Tim's? Sounds good.
Tim Hortons ham and Swiss sandwich on a toasted bun. And our new creamy field mushroom soup in a combo, just $6.49.
It took longer than expected to reduce the field to 4, but with 2 tiebreakers this morning and another this afternoon, the Page playoff games are set. Jenn Hanna advancing against Stephanie Lawton of Saskatchewan in the 3-4 game. The winner will move on to the semifinal and will face either Jennifer Jones of Manitoba or Kelly Scott of BC. They play tonight in the 1 versus 2 game. The winner goes directly to the final. The loser goes to the semifinal tomorrow afternoon. So 2 games tonight. Hanna against Lawton and Jones against Scott.
The Scott Tournament of Hearts on CBC. Brought to you by Cashmere from Cottonelle Bathroom Tissue. Now quilted to be irresistibly soft.
When we set out to replace Cottonelle with an even better Cottonelle, we asked women, what could be softer than cotton?
Flannel. Silk.
Cashmere. Oh my. Introducing new Cashmere from Cottonelle, now quilted to be irresistibly soft.
The Scott Tournament of Hearts on CBC. Brought to you by Ford, built for life in Canada. By Karcher, you'll look for things to clean. And by Tim Hortons, toasted ham and Swiss and soup combo.
Tonight, for the first time in 5 years, the Scott will have a new champion. Manitoba against BC, Saskatchewan versus Ontario. And one of these teams will advance to the final. 2 others will play in the semifinal tomorrow. You'll see tonight's Page playoff games on CBC Country Canada beginning at 6 Eastern Time.